one. You're on.
Hello and welcome to Angora Poets, Angora Poets World Cafe, where we present poets and writers and performance artists from the four corners of our planet.
Hmm.
And we present ourselves mostly in English, but often in Spanish or French or any other language that might be someone's preferred language. That's who we are, and we welcome you aboard. We want to start tonight's session that let's see is September September 20th, announcing a few things. Next week, uh, uh, next week, Angora Poets will go live stream while we are participating, and we'll be recording it. And so, for those of you out there to know, Angora Poets, as such, has a YouTube channel. Angora Poets has a website. Angora Poets has a Facebook page, and then I and others post Angora Poets. So we're doing our best to let you know that what we're doing and that we're out there. And we're glad we're getting people following us because of the caliber of the poets who present for us. Actually, that's what it's all about. What else do I want to mention? On October 1st, Angora Poets will do its first live flesh and blood and body get together in Paris at Bar Lulu, in one of the artistic mixed ethnic neighborhoods. It's got all the artists in it up near Gare de l'Est. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna do it on a Thursday, so that come Sunday, I can resume, we can resume Angora Poets Zoom. And why would we do both? Because one, under the same roof is wonderful, of course, especially under these conditions. We know how valuable that is. But number two, there are just some Zooms like our own that I don't want to see disappear because it has evolved in outreach in a worldwide community of some far apart poets of very high caliber. And so I don't want to let you go, and your listeners and your public to let you go. Okay, so that's who we're about, and I welcome you all on board. And I would like to open up tonight with a poet from New Jersey living in Paris, who we affectionately call the Judge, because he certainly renders some decisions from the bench. So I would like to pleasurably turn it over to Bill Strangmeyer. Over to you, Bill.
Let's see.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you, Mo. Okay. This is called a book. It's about, well, okay, I'll read it to you. A book. I read the story of your youthful love affair. Your introduction made me feel as if the welling tears would come up to the surface in the foreign subway train I was on. For beauty brings me sharp remembrance of all my past desires, like love enfolding me and poking at my longing, seeing with a lion's gaze that I am wakened, unafraid. I'm almost saved. I'm almost lifted up, alone. That time is still within me. Those days are still as real and dangerous as then, as when they were the labyrinth of growing up, remembering big and small, unnecessary cruelties and kindnesses. The summer's baking heat each year, the funny clothes, the music so important like a universal code we thought a key. They all came back and filled me with a humble pride at having seen and lived a foreign time on native soil and having borne it into this inferior and still bullying latter age that's so much richer in mere matter, information, and its moneyed fear. From once so sure in youthful certainty and hope of being just, we've come to certainty in giving up and law and order, bought from the salesman of the stupid death we fought so hard to kill, or maybe turn to love of life. Oh well, that's just a commie plot. But for a moment, I remember being just a kid with all the power of the future silent in my head, unseen, unused, for life was so much there. And We had so much from the world and from ourselves that sorrow was an outcast's toy and hate a stifled madman's cross.
I had all the future in my head. Yeah.
That was about Patti Smith's book, Just Kids. I just loved that book. Okay. Aren't you a little old for that? It doesn't bore you? No, of course not. You think you're young. But that's just it. You aren't bored because you're young. And what else? Oh, yes, you wear certain clothes and ideas. You have the kind of crowd that matches the zeitgeist's idea. Right size, right hobbies. And later on, you will be your father in the eyes of your kids. Rebellion is revolution, or rather, the stages of life are defined and are colored and coded like this. A bullshit for each age group, activity, and attitude, a way to kiss, some experience to miss as you lockstep towards your death. A new face fades into each decade, fitting your age to face life's dearth in this culture of cartoons. The devil church's laud to the dead, wagging wallets of stink and defiling the bread, communion bread. But there I go, waving the flag from of my caste, the slice of life I used to live in, not this algebraic time, for they own the equation of mind, and we were of mind that we were given, although we know we do nothing about this having been had. But just try to get out. You can't because you're just a fad.
Whoa.
This
Why we call him the
culture of
judge?
cartoons. This
No.
culture of cartoons.
Well, and you know you can't get out. Well, here we are getting out right now. Poets taking their leave on conventional restraint.
Temporary autonomous zone.
You're too much of an optimist. You know that, Billy? All right. Okay. Well, we got Delita's pretty face on board now.
Now, that was
And
two, Mo. That was two.
I know. And I was getting ready, Bill, to ask for three as a charm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
So
We
far.
can hear you.
Hi.
Okay.
Xavier, devant sur 2 secondes.
Okay.
Et tu
Écoute,
dis bonjour.
okay, delete.
Hello.
Oh, everybody. I'm sorry, Bill. Everybody. This is Delila's daughter, Magda, who I've known since she was a little girl. Hey. So you stay there, Delila, and stay there, Magda, and we're going to call on you, and you can come on to say some things to us, if you will, please.
Il pensait que tu allais participer.
She understands.
Tout va bien. Ok,
She understands English very well, Delila.
très bien.
Went to school in Berkeley and NYU. It's a long way from
Columbia.
That's a long way from Pittsburgh and Algeria, honey. I tell you what. Okay, sorry, Bill, but here we are. Let's get serious and ask Bill to do three as a charm, please, Bill.
Okay. Would an almighty God need a day of rest? I look, but I don't find enough evidence. No proof of a human being closed into his shell, scaling a barely existing ladder in free fall. In youth, the itch fled out of the reach of my nails. The fist opened up to reach both rejects and offers. Independence needs an army to guard its independence. Think of a God who has taken things to such a far point that at its commemoration, even the gatecrasher begins to feel embarrassed. The first become last and the twisted circle is knotted up. I too turn the other cheek to receive forgiveness. A warm hell is forecast, but would a really almighty God need a day of rest? Often I rush to find the time to stop and contemplate a way to romanticize my late arrival. Everything I do with an eye to eternity, which is transparency of impassable water. No, eternity is two mirrors, set one against the other. I drop my mirror to the floor, the broken shards set free of each other.
Eternity is two mirrors. Holy shit.
Gonna have to look into that. Wow, Billy, lay it down. All right. Okay, so
I loved it.
Thank you.
It's really good. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Applause meter. Come on, let's get it going here. Applause meter.
Oh, you're not hearing it, but drum roll.
So I would like to ask Karen Scott if she's going to present something this evening. You can do that later if you wish.
I did send you a message that said if covers are all right, I would love to read today.
Would you please do that, Karen Scott from Columbus, Ohio?
I will when you call on me.
Hello, Karen Scott.
Yeah.
Calling Karen Scott.
Are you ready for me to do that now?
I am so ready.
I'm so
Okay.
ready. Born
Are we
ready.
ready, everybody? Who's
Born
ready?
ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, ready.
We're Karen.
All right. Since I've been doing a lot of different Zoom rooms and hearing a lot of different voices and buying entirely too many books, I'm going to read, the first poem is going to come from Marcial Delgado, who hangs out with the Mindwell poets in the Mountain Zone. And it's from his book, Sell Me Insanity. I will always be your daddy. A princess grows up so fast. It wasn't too long ago she sat on my lap telling me silly things and making me laugh. Beautiful memories made my life a blast. Now she is 18 with teenage dreams. Her presence is fading away from me and it's hard to let go. Enough to drive a father local. Like an eagle, she must fly free, but look to her face and my baby is what I see. Nobody ever told me that being a daddy is easy. Sometimes I can't control this parent's jealousy, finding any excuse to make me angry. Let emotion grip the best of me. My duty is to protect her and to make her happy. Instead, I cause pain and misery. Through all of my imperfections, she continues to look to my face, to tell me she loves me. She will always be my princess. I will always be her daddy. That's Marcial Delgado.
I think you get a unanimous round of applause for the poem and for the principle of daddies and their daughters, like
Yep.
me and my daughter. My son can call me up and say something like, Papa, I need to talk. Okay. Well, I don't know about all this, Marius. Then my daughter, Caitlin, Papa. It's that voice. Papa, do you have a minute? Uh-oh, princess.
Yeah.
Number two, Karen Scott.
Okay, this one is from V. Kali, and she's with the World Stage Press out in California somewhere. And this is from her book, Him, and it's Him, the title poem. There are people who love me. I don't even know their names, but they hug me with the corners of their smiles. There are children not from my skin, but of my roots, as mother and friend. I attend their most important rituals. I am invited. We are attached. I call them mine. There is a place where love grows by the doorway and honor lights the room and laughter with you or at you to the anthem for which we stand. And there is a man who sings when he breathes, heals when he whispers, and when he prays, God listens. V. Kali.
Okay. Yeah. Applause me to her. When honor lights up the room. That is good. All right. Can you give us three's a charm, Karen?
I sure can. Okay, this is from Accolade, which is an anthology from a group called Women Who Submit. And it's usually women of color. And they have meetings and seminars and all sorts of things. So this one is called When You're Poor by Heather Romero Kornblum. And it came from her book, Sparkle and Blink. When you're poor and you drop the $4 salsa container, you stare at the splatter pattern on the floor and count the losses in dollars and cents. You buy your son a fancy Lara bar, and when he doesn't finish it, you eat it and hope you don't catch his cold. You pour the liquid from the squash you roasted into the soup and pour the excess soup broth into the rice you cook. You keep your head down and don't talk to people. You don't react to the Facebook status of an acquaintance who shares that she needs extra frequent flyer miles to get back early from her $2,000 vacation because her dad is dying. Maybe you become a shitty friend. You don't ask your landlord to fix things. You don't fix your car. You don't get the bump that you have under your eyelid checked out even though you have health insurance. You keep stocking your pantry with cans. You don't buy your son an animal balloon at the farmer's market. You don't want to listen to your middle-class whitish friends talk about why they voted third party. You cash your WIC checks at the supermarket and apologize to everyone around you for the cashier's difficulty in understanding how to process a WIC check. You apologize again to the cashier when they yell at you because they don't know how to process a WIC check. You simultaneously thank and apologize again to the cashier on the way out and wonder why they're so angry at you. You assume the cashier is poor too. You apologize to your son sitting in the shopping cart who says, "Mama, why is it taking so long?" Your birth control fails and you get an abortion over winter break because Obama is still president and you still can, and your partner's immigration status is precarious under the incoming regime. And you don't know what you would do if your partner were deported and you were left with 2 children by yourself. You don't tell anyone. You keep your 4.0 at school. Mothers, if they do anything, have to be doing it perfectly and never for the sake of success itself. You eat your whole lunch and your son's leftover breakfast in your car at 10 a.m. after you drop him off at preschool. Your father thinks that your poverty is proof of your ineptitude in a man's world, and you stop talking to him. You remind yourself that he beat you when you were little. You remind yourself that for the past 23, 35 years of your life, he told you that you were emasculating men by being competitive, that you needed to watch it or you would get fat. He said this to you even when you were a size 0 and abusing laxatives. You think that you are broken and that people will always know you were once poor, a mark of shame written into the way you save coupons or eat food past the expiration date. You will always pour the liquid from the roasted squash into the soup.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Uh,
Wow,
Thank you.
a lot of respect for that poem. You know, when you said and they don't understand WIC, I put in a poem called Joni's Comeback, and she's white. You know, she's poor and white. And it goes like this. There we were in the checkout line, flirting. And when he saw me pay for baby food with food stamps, that man almost shit himself. So did you go out? No way. Anyway, okay. That was great. If you're going to do your own work, of course, and covers, as you call them, covers, poems of others, you're more than welcome because your selection, I think we all found, was just outstanding tonight. So thank you in an outstanding way.
Thank you.
Yes. And now I'd like to call on someone who's having their first time with Angora Poets, who's out there in the early day of San Francisco, Dave Wilson. Hello, Dave. Yeah, Dave.
okay.
Come
Well,
on down. Come on down.
Hold on a second.
Get that blender.
Nice to be called on.
Yeah. And I'd like to
Well, you
call
know, I happen to have some poems here.
Delilah when Dave is finished. There we go.
Right?
Okay. Okay, Dave, you're on, baby.
All right. Well, here's some little poems. Nothing heavy like Karen just went through, which was. I do think that though, saving all of your drippings and stock and putting them back into the soup and the stews, that's always a good thing to do for everybody. Okay. Maximus Beast. Maximus Beast, the son of a priest, was covered with dark black hair. Maximus Beast went to a feast and ate all the wee poodles there. Maximus Beast's appetite increased as he walked one night 'neath the moon. Maximus Beast, disturbed to say the least, said, "I hope I find something to eat soon." Maximus Beast has never, ever ceased to make poodles shiver as with chill. Maximus Beast, grown slightly old and creased, sleeps at the top of the hill. Maximus Beast, and I do mean a beast, pretended he just didn't care. Maximus Beast returned to the feast and ate all the wee poets there.
All right. Hey, when we get close to Halloween, you
That's
gotta
the one for
open
that,
up
yeah,
tonight, brother. You gotta open it. That's some serious Halloweeny. You have a second one for us, please, Dave Wilson.
Yeah, thanks so much. Kind of different. All healing is self-healing. You must pay attention. When I see a person, they are not whole. I only see a cross section. Like a thief in the night, he snuck around, laying hands on people and praying for them, and they were getting well. You're out in the woods, eating well, meditating, doing what you do. Hilarious emptiness, inability to know social capabilities traps you in constructs of your own mind. Why do you say that? Opened to the now? Not while engaged in webs of thoughts and other crap. Split down the middle. There must be some way to reconcile. Holistic means to be made whole once again after being rent asunder out here. Either somebody's lying or there's something wrong with our language. All healing is self-healing.
Hey, yeah, let's hear it. Yeah, I say up on that. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh, healing yourself.
One more to make it three? Well,
Exactly. That's right. Three's the charm. You got it.
okay, first hours of a rainy day. Lines in Oakland, Oakland lines. Endless freeways in California. Misty forests and angel minstrels. All is all is lines. Loved the girl, he loved the girl. Orange thinness, yellow sun. Springs and clocks. Human fetus, incredible photos. Beetles in yellow submarines. The circle is magic. Child's art and pumpkins grand. Such a perfect smile. No more, no more, gone. All is darkness, never ending. The sun's not seen in Oakland, but lines are in the painter's eyes.
Okay, all right. And heads
Thanks,
up for
guys.
shout out to Oakland. All right.
Oakland rocks. It's a great place.
Oakland rocks.
Totally.
I was in Oakland in January as an artist in residence, and besides the climate, I liked the people in Oakland.
They're
They
very
were
nice.
they were easier for me to deal with than the people in San Francisco, simply because whether they were good, if they were good intention, you knew it. If they were bad intention, you knew it. You just knew it, and I could deal with that. So
Cool.
shout out to Oakland, man, and welcome aboard for your first time. You're more than welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you all. I'm so happy to see familiar faces and see the new people that I haven't met before.
Good. All right, so I was asking Dalila, hello Dalila, if you're ready to go next. Hello, Dalila. Okay.
Dalila has
Well,
disappeared.
Yeah, so she'll be back on. And in the meantime, we see Vicky and Bunny and on with us now. So, Bunny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Would you like to present next?
Yeah, I could do that.
Can we see your pretty face?
Let me check that. 1 second, start video. Thank
There
you.
you are. Okay.
Okay, I just wrote it actually. I'm thinking about reading something out of the hashtag Wuhan. I just thought it'd be for a little while and do some love poems.
Okay.
This one is called You. I'm with you. While most of me cries out to you, where are we? Please, certainly, do agree. With the mere me, we all need to be free. Baby, please see, not just you, but also me, need to be true. I want to stay with you. Thank you.
That's sweet. I hope I get one of them on Valentine's Day. Not last year, damn it. Bunny,
Yeah, I have a bunch of them because I'm doing I'm planning a publication 365 days, 365 ways of saying how I love you. So it's going to be a calendar.
We could use that, especially now in these times. And okay, so will you give us a second one? And then we'll have Dalila, now that you're back on, Dalila, we'll have you follow Bunny, please. Okay, Bunny, number 2, please.
Okay, number 2 is going to be really short. It's called You. I want to see you while me and you will be in you. Thank you.
Ooh, think that one over. You, yeah. All right. Short but sweet, honey. How about Three's a Charm, Bunny?
Okay, I have to pick one. Okay. I think I have the last one, which might not be completely finished yet. It's a really short one too. It's called Free. You do see me. You do feel free. You are truly me. I envy. I set free. I am free. Thank you.
I think that message came across quite clear, everybody. No existential confusion over here. And you said that they're short, just like me. It's okay. Okay, thank you, Bunny. Thank you.
Thank you guys as well for listening.
Yeah, and oh, did she? Okay, so now we'll move over. We'll go from the Czech Republic, where Bunny is. We'll go southbound now. Let's go southbound, and I don't mean Georgia. I mean Algeria. Deep down yonder in Algeria. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're now in Paris. Okay, okay, Dalila. Hello. Okay. You are muted.
I said hello, Mo. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see your daughter, Magda.
Yes,
Wish she would come back on screen for us.
maybe.
I just love that girl for just the way she left. She went to university in Lyon in France, and then she ends up in Berkeley. Then she ends up at NYC.
No, Colombia.
Oh, I'm sorry, Columbia. Wow. So I tell you,
New York.
yeah, that would be New York, all right. So that's great. That's just great. You must be so proud
Yes, I am.
because you have a PhD in your studies as well. So you're a family of women. You're a family of women showing how they can do it.
Thank you.
Yes. So what have you for us?
I have a poem which is called Silence, chirurgie in French.
Now give us just a brief description.
Yes. Magda had a surgery last week, and I was with her at the hospital. And then when I left her there, I was just walking and very much hurt because I was really afraid. So I want to share with you this emotion.
Please.
I called it Silence, chirurgie. Direction, hôpital. Route longue, inconnue. On se regarde, on dit rien. Séparation. Un couloir sombre te mène vers la chirurgie. Que les mains du chirurgien te soient douces. Sortie de l'hôpital, à garde, silencieuse, je ne vois presque plus mes mouvements. J'entends à peine les bruits de la ville. En son réveil matinal lumineux de soleil. Désarroi nouveau, solitude multiple, impuissante, cœur terrassé, veut s'arrêter de battre, silence de douleur, larmes silencieuses, triste, hébétée, impuissante, je marche, j'erre. Maman seule, inquiète, bouleversée. Mon bébé, ma fille, j'ai mal pour toi. J'implore l'humain, j'implore le divin, la force de continuer à vivre dans la joie. Voilà.
Yes. Heartfelt. We know it. Silent surgery. Wow. You know, so we said a couple months ago, I don't know who authored this line, but a couple months ago it was said, a woman always, a mother always wears her heart on the outside.
True.
Do you have a second one for us, Dalila?
Maybe a second one, yes.
Yes.
Easygoing. It is called, it's not mine. I just found it and I found it very, very beautiful. Les mystères du verbe être et du verbe avoir. the verbs to be and have. Be and have en français. The mysteries of these two verbs. Parmi mes meilleurs auxiliaires, il est deux verbes originaux, avoir et être, étaient deux frères que j'ai connus dès le berceau. Bien qu'opposés de caractère, on pouvait les croire jumeaux, tant leur histoire est singulière, mais ces deux frères étaient rivaux. Ce qu'avoir aurait voulu être, être voulait toujours l'avoir. À ne vouloir ni Dieu ni maître, le verbe être s'est fait avoir. Son frère avoir était en banque et faisait un grand numéro, alors qu'être, toujours en manque, souffrait beaucoup dans son ego. Pendant qu'être apprenait à lire et faisait ses humanités, de son côté, sans rien lui dire, avoir apprenait à compter. Et il amassait des fortunes en avoir, en liquidité, pendant qu'être, un peu dans la lune, s'était laissé déposséder. Avoir été ostentatoire lorsqu'il ne se montrait généreux. Être en revanche, et c'est notoire, être est bien souvent présomptueux. Avoir voyage en classe affaires, il met tous ses titres à l'abri, alors qu'être est plus débonnaire, il ne gardera rien pour lui. Sa richesse est tout intérieure, ce sont les choses de l'esprit. Le verbe être est tout en pudeur, et sa noblesse est à ce prix. Un jour, à force de chimères, pour parvenir à un accord entre verbes, ça peut se faire. Ils conjuguèrent leurs efforts. Et pour ne pas perdre la face, au milieu des mots rassemblés, ils se sont répartis les tâches pour enfin se réconcilier. Le verbe avoir a besoin d'être, parce qu'être, c'est exister. Le verbe être a besoin d'avoir pour enrichir ses bons côtés. Et voilà.
Okay. For those of you who are living outside of French culture, they have a passion for discussing language from a philosophical and linguistic. They will talk about it till the cows come home and object to any.
C'est un jeu.
Right.
A game.
And fortunately for your poem, the French establishment will argue till the cows come home against people who try to evolve the language and modernize it. But in this case, that poem handled it quite well.
It's nice.
All right.
Nice.
Okay.
French
So-
and Arabs do that.
Oh, Arab too? Okay.
Yeah, because
It's a classical Arab, right?
no, I think those are the only two languages that I know where there are official bodies that keep them in check.
Right.
You know, like, and yeah, those are the only two languages that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Well, I had a collection published in Arabic by an Egyptian translator, and we read it in Paris. And the arguments, you were right, the arguments among Iraqis and Algerians, it's just, you know, classic Arabic or is this Egyptian, you know, they were really making a distinction. I was, well, how do you feel about the poem? No, we want to discuss the origin of the Arabic roots of the language.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And he was Egyptian, so we got somewhat of a pass because he was Egyptian.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Dalila, you can do three's a charm if you wish.
Yes, I have found something very, a text by Albert Camus, and it's from his novel, L'étranger.
Yep.
And I think it's
The
beautiful.
Stranger.
Yes, The Stranger.
The Stranger, yeah.
Albert
Okay,
Camus,
so this is a text, not a poem.
a short paragraph.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. Okay.
He said, Camus, in the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. I realized through it all that in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. And that makes me happy, for it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. C'est beau, hein?
Thank you for that.
That's great. What a good selection. Thank you, Dalila.
You're welcome.
Stay around for the second round. And I encourage you to have Magda. I know she's shy about this in front of a bunch of adult strangers. I guess
I'll
just
ask her if she can come out at least to say hello.
to say hello. And maybe if she wishes to comment for a minute on the status or her feelings of poetry as a Moroccan woman in that environment from Berkeley to Columbia in New York. That could be interesting. You know, some kind of brief, timely comments on her.
Moroccan. You said Moroccan.
Yeah, because she's a
Algerian.
Moroccan. Oh, you're right. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm thrown out. There you go. Twitter war. Okay, limited storage space. It shows. All right. Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
now, thank you very much, Dalila. And now I'd like to call on Mohammed. We'd like to call on a man from United Arab Emirates in Dubai. And say hello to Laura Palmer. Hello, Laura Palmer. What a great name,
Hi,
Laura
guys.
Palmer.
Hey,
Were you-
Laura.
Just disappeared for like
were-
20 years, 25 years, and I'm back. Sorry.
No.
Where,
Well,
where are
welcome
you?
back.
Where are you? Are you in Paris now or where?
No, I'm just visiting my mother right now, but I live in Paris indeed. And I'm so sorry, Mo, we never like formally met or something. I'm just like going with the wind and just like, yeah.
Well, what I want to know before Mo comes on is that name, Laura Palmer. Do I get that right? Was that the name of the woman in Twin Peaks?
Yes, I just made a joke.
Whoa, she's
For
back.
every like
She's back.
for every like geeks out there, like she died 25 years ago, like when the show ended, and then they did like another season. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, great. She was the most sought after mystery woman,
Yeah.
in the media
David
world.
Lynch is not what he seems.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you. Hang in there, Laura. We'll call on you to present. And right now we'll go over to Mohammed. Hello, Mohammed Anis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay. Everybody can hear me okay? All right. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me turn on my camera. Rude of me. You guys were kept my screen looking so pretty. I started feeling out of place. Okay. So this came from a little poetry prompt that I thought was pretty cool, and the poetry prompt was: think about plastic when it floats along the water to the sea. So that's the poetry prompt. And weirdly enough, this is what happened. Plastic, crude oils, and earth unwanted middle child. I see you carrying mom's necessities back home. I see you bearing the brunt of the trash, and the little nephew's teeth molding the nape of your neck into a chew toy. how you put up with rolling his walker through every accident his imagination pushed you into. I see you wandering the air, a humbling imitation of the clouds. I see you caressing the ink of this poem, grandmother's picture on my 11th birthday. I see you carrying an amputee to a stand, a synthetic but honest attempt to dispel the phantoms that dwell where his legs should have been. I see you cast away, carried along water, even though it had once taken the shape of you. They abandoned you in space after you'd safeguard them past the stratosphere. But you can take consolation knowing that the stars won't be as inconvenienced as us. Maybe you can hear them over radio chatter wailing about population control, their eulogies making you out to be a manifestation of their negligence, not manifestation that was neglected. Maybe they wail because you are the object of envy. Perhaps they see in you the qualities they have always wanted, longevity, or the ability to shape oneself around the satisfaction of the ego. Perhaps they seethe as they watch you carried across the ocean, paraded across waters like the effigies they wish were shaped after them, passportless in a world that celebrates its borders. They'll pretend to mourn the dead you send them, their sentiments as synthetic as the accusations they pin against you. So float, fly, let the waters take the shape of you. Plastic, crude oil, and Earth's unwanted middle child.
Whoa, applause mita. Whoa, whoa. I must say, I never expected a poem sympathetic to plastic. That is a good poem. You know, it really speaks to us. I realize that we created the middle child. Wow. There was a cartoon out today where it shows the water is flood level high and a human is drowning and a duck is just floating above the raging waters and says, I guess you're fucked. Give it to the duck. Mo, do you have number 2 for us?
Yes, sir. Number 2 would be from my favorite poet of all time, Mr. Clint Smith. On another night, this poem is called FaceTime, which is something like Skype, apparently.
Yeah.
On another night in a hotel, in a room, in a city, flanked by all that is unfamiliar, I am able to move my finger along a glass screen, once across, once vertical, and in seconds see your mother, smiling in a room that is our own, that is now so far away, but also not so far away at all. And she can place the small screen near her belly, and when I speak, I can see you moving beneath her skin as if you knew that this distance was only temporary. And what a small yet profound joy it is to be somewhere that is not with you, but to still be with you, and see your feet dance beneath her rib cage like we knew we'd be both dancing if you're with your feet together soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
And great. And a man wrote that.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Clint Smith is I've read his poetry a couple of times. He's an educator. He's an educator, yeah.
And he's a poet of deep feelings.
Yeah. He surely is.
Okay. So do you have threes of charm, Mo? And while you're looking up threes of charm, let's say hi to Vicky. Hello, Vicky Aqua. Hello.
Hey,
Well,
Vicky. You're muted, Vicky, if you're saying anything.
it doesn't show mute.
Mm.
Well, you might be hearing us hello, and I want to say hello also to Benedicta. Hello, Benedicta.
Okay, hello everybody. This is Mama Oladeji Vicky Aqua,
Hey.
aka the all-round queen, tuning in and saying
Okay.
good
Well,
poetry, good poetry.
okay, because you got two.
Hi, Mo, I'm on.
I think. Oh, I think you are. Hello, Benedicta.
Hi, hi.
Hi, hi, hi.
I hope you're doing great.
You sound good.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna call on you soon. Okay, you and Vicky, along with everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. So we're gonna wait now for Three's a Charm. Here we go, Mo.
All right. Three is a Charm. Three is a Charm is an old piece, but I love it anyway. They gave the boy a gun, as if it were school stationery, his ghost possessing him already with false notions of a world without repercussions. Even with the safety on, it still killed his imaginary friends. The boy had a gun, 15 rounds and a cartridge, a match made in hell between carnage and his imagination, parenting resting in the cold grip of his firearm in a nation that continues to set precedents for its own ruin. A storm is brewing, hate seeds are blooming, a population brooming over its imminent undoing, and this clown of a tyrant is left to keep it grooming. Trump made it clear that there is no such thing as uninformed democracy. Instead, a population with an idiocracy that hides behind privilege, twisting the image of every fought-for virtue it can lay its hands on. It'll call slander freedom of speech. It'll attribute racial favoritism to the results of fair capitalism, whatever that means. It'll fight for virtues that are as synthetic as their understanding of them. A teacher hands the boy a textbook, hoping it would ward off the voices from the barrel, hoping that it would baptize him with enough sense for Socrates to speak to his inner daemon, not demon. He looked at the boy in the hope that the gun hasn't killed all the questions in his sleep, that a part of him was still trigger happy at being a boy. A girl hands the boy her heart, 11 ounces of it, and an experiment she calls love, something louder than the gunshot of his father's 12 gauge. They are trigger happy with foolishness. The boy is a boy now. The chamber kicks back. Blood sprays on the book covers down the hallway as Socrates' words drown in the echoes of gunfire. A trail of bodies leaving a nation alive with questions and denial. When the media gossip and headlines die, when activism becomes sponsored by commercial interests, when the scare causes gun sales to run high and the social justice climate's about to turn desperate, rest assured that everything's going to be fine, and we'll be running back to browsing Pinterest, laughing at 9gags while old hags reap the benefits. Merchants of death, alcohol, gun, and cigarettes will be laughing themselves witless as yet another tragedy becomes a marketing campaign that they will teach at the academy. America, it isn't so much with your education as much as it is with a generation that has more or less stopped giving a damn.
Ooh, wow. More or less. Wow. And somebody combated me on that, and I said, okay, Bubba's Rod and Gun Shop, big sale Saturday, families welcome, free ammo for the kids. That's very plausible. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo. Okay, so I'd like to call on next. I'd like to go on, let's see, looking at the screen here. I'd like to go, am I going to New Orleans or New York, Jane, spoken word?
In New Orleans.
So we in New Orleans.
Yes, we
Okay,
are.
so everybody welcome. Hello, Jane.
Hey.
You're on.
All right. So I'm doing a political fast. I've had enough for a minute. So we're not going to be doing anything like that today. So the first piece that I'm going to do is a piece called The Art of Poetry. It's from, I don't know why it's backwards, but it's tragically hip. That's me. All right, The Art of Poetry. The art of poetry is an excursion down deep, dark rivers of ink, exploring exposed imagination and deviation from conventional think. Mind stories steeped in prosish rhymes in time deliver you a freedom of some kind. Free your mind. Free your mind to spin free verse for what it's worth. I choose words for twisted tongued complexity. My navigations are negotiations between pure thought and poetry. Hallucinogenic interpretations, metamorphic reproductions, inspirations echoed in a place unnamed. A transcendental contemplation turned compulsion to word you a vision of mind from a time left behind or sent ahead without trepidation, where cosmic continuation flows like deep, dark rivers of ink. The art of poetry.
Okay. Applause meters up again. Here we go
Thank
for another
you.
poet and another. Thank you, Jane. Number
you.
2 from your fasting.
Number 2 is called Zen Beats. It's from the same book. Tell me where your freedom lies. Tell me where your freedom lies. When the day is worn out, tired, and the sun surrenders her fire to the sea, the consciousness of night is released from her dark exile to smile the smile of a billion stars that fly through glass smooth sky, gifting galaxies with glimmered lights and abstract songs from the heartbeat of the universe. I am just a poet chasing poems out of the dark. My words are rhymes of endless days and sleepless nights and seas that wave beyond the place where full moons dance with stars that fly beyond the place where illusions are slain. Reality blurs the same. Visions unseen, born from a dream that is my dream. When the day is worn out tired and the sun surrenders her fire to the sea, tell me where your freedom lies. Zen Beats.
Yeah, yes. Somebody unmuted is having a bit of a conversation coming
I heard
through.
him.
So
I heard
if you, sorry?
I heard him.
Yeah. So if whoever is unmuted, I don't know, the only person I see so far that looks unmuted is Vicky. Maybe you'll mute, Vicky. Okay. Okay, so would you give us 3 is a charm, Jane?
Okay, 3 is a charm. This piece is called I Am a Poet, and it was picked to be in the anthology of the National Beat Poetry Foundation. So this is I Am a Poet. I am a poet. I am the air that I breathe. I am the words that I think. Take you to the brink, don't blink, drink it in. Poetry is revolution, word is the sound solution for you from the institution. I am ghosting the machine. I will wake you from your dream. I am a poet. I pen lines with a stroke. I spit rhymes when I choke. Inner fires I will stoke, 'cause I ain't no joke. I am a poet. And poetry is revolution. Word is the sound solution. Free you from the institution. I am ghosting the machine. I will wake you from your dream. I am a poet. I float bars when I write. Open doors, shine a light. Free your mind, free your might. You are what you think. You think what you are. And poetry is revolution. Word is the sound solution. Free you from the institution. I am ghosting the machine. I will wake you from your dream. I will free you from their scheme. I am what I know. I am what I sow. I am poetry wrapped in a straitjacket, and I will free you from their scheme. And I will wake you, and I will wake you, and I will wake you. Peace. You're muted, Mo. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Y'all are so supportive. I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you earn it, and it's good to support you. You're deservedly that, and
you.
that you're on a political fast. That's interesting. I would like to turn off the bullshit myself.
Word.
And just go out there. And
It's exhausting.
yeah, it is. Yeah, okay. So thank you, Jane. And now I'd like to move from New Orleans back over to the Bay Area to San Francisco. And this guy should call his collection almost like the TV series, The Streets of San Francisco. Jane, who has a collection of poems on various streets. Welcome, Jane.
Hi, I'm going to switch it up today, and I'm going to do some other stuff and maybe get some more vitamin P for the people who are politically deficient. But first, formocophiliac. I met a beautiful bug. She crawled inside me, ate my brain. I died. When I woke up, I had a pretty shell. I could speak every dialect of humming, click, click. I had 16 dicks and all the bug pussy 16 dicks could fill. I was bug happy as any bug could be till the last windshield splat. I died again. I woke up, an amoeba. I had no lover to please. I played with myself and I split. My family and I lived in Old Hickory Lake. Last summer, I climbed up inside a swimming kid's nose and ate amygdala appetizers until I was sated. Awaking in San Francisco, a man with his boner, I met a beautiful woman. She crawled inside.
Wow. Talk about some reverse engineering, brother. Okay, good. But hey, bug out. How about number 2?
All right. The morning prayer facing east. The earth is a candle. The earth is burning. Who is brought low? Who is left to sit for 7 days? To honor, to accommodate, to remember, to memorialize our beloved? Who says Kaddish for Ruth, for Earth, for America? I beg forgiveness for the appropriation, for your deafness, for your hate, for your fear. I beg forgiveness for whatever I have done that brings me and us here and low. I sit here for 7 days, praying for the better way to go. The Torah tells us all Jews are one. A Jew may recite the Kaddish for another if and when needed. The Buddha tells us we are all one. So I'm a Jew. I'm a Muslim. I'm a man of all faith. I'm a man of no faith at all. When we are high and easy, we are blind to how low and hard we have become. Our thoughts are all sleeping. This is where I am now, on my knees, weeping. Abraham Lincoln said, I have been driven many times upon my knee by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My wisdom and that of all about me seemed insufficient for that day. This is where we are now. The earth is a candle. The candle is burning. Who is brought low? If it is when needed now, then when will it ever be the time? For the recitation of the Kaddish, for Ruth, for America, for Earth. It is time to plant trees in America, in Israel, and on Earth.
Okay. I'm for planting trees. Hey, and I'll tell you something. Like so many people, you have referred your Western orientation of religion or spirituality over to an appreciation of Buddhism, which is, been very popular since the 60s, since McClure and the early beats, which I really like. Do you know in New York, there's a term now that we've been using that I used the last time with Steve Delashinsky and Yuko Otomo, which is somebody walked up and saw Steve's prayer beads or whatever it's called, on his wrist. And they said, oh, you're a Jubu. And the third party said, what's that mean? And they meant Jewish Buddhist. So the affectionate term among people in New York is Jubu. And people smile at that. It's like a nice integration of two traditions. All right. So don't put this on Twitter. It'll be taken all out of context.
Sure it will. Yeah.
Anyway, can you give us three as a charm?
Yes. This is Magnolia. When you are broken, you must treat the wound of bone jagged, ripped through the muscle, the skin. Everything is holy. Asking how that can be means you do not understand its continual discovery, forgetting. No one knows. It's cake, it's lies. Let's hide under the under wand of lightning touching faith. Everything is holy. Bird and tree chirps the gospel of it being so. The worm grows you to make of you Sunday supper. Make maggots the case to their faces. See what they have to say. I will not argue anymore. Sometime you will have your come to ocean moment in this life or ever after. The prayer is bowing, open for you to see it. Drunken joy, tomorrow waking, hung over, wonder, do it all once more. Magnolia blossoms on the ground. See the logic tumble down. Everything is holy.
Okay. Applause meter for this man. Thank you. All right. Okay, thank you. And not a word about the streets of San Francisco. So
I'm moving on.
Moving on. Well, I'd like to move on now. And I'd like to call on another poet who I've been talking to online for a little while. We have almost met in person, and now we're meeting here on screen. And that is the woman who has the delightful name of Laura Palmer.
Oh my God. Thank you guys.
Welcome. Welcome to Angora Poets, Laura.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So it's nice to see you guys, and I was really moved by everything that I just heard. And yeah, it's nice. So can someone like brief me on like the rules? Can we like eat? Can we just like pee, going on a pee? Can we just like discuss and just like make appearance? Like, oh, that was really cool, or just like how is going on?
Well, I'll tell you what, poetry rules. Everything else is subordinate. And so we'd like to hear yours.
Well, can you still see and hear me? And I can.
Yes.
Okay, so since the moon is in Scorpio and my moon is in Scorpio, unfortunately, I will be reading Scorpio Moon that I wrote.
Okay, well, I'm dying to ask, even though I've read my fair share of pop astrology. What does that mean that your moon is in Scorpio?
I'm like really sensitive, like analytical, can be like kind of like obsessive, but I just like read people really easily. It can be really useful if you're like, not. So like sometimes I just like merge into my own feelings, but it's okay. I know you're a Sagittarius, by the way.
Yes, I am.
Just like me.
Oh, okay. Does that mean
That's
my
really
moon
cool.
is in Scorpio too?
No, it's really
Okay.
complex, but I would love to just like give you a read on all your problems and
All
strengths
my
one
problems.
day.
You don't have enough time to read all my problems. So let's read your next poem,
Oh my
please.
God. Yes, okay. Scorpio moon. The moon is full and my heart has emptied, yet I still crave that social life, that irrational feelings of being praised, looked at, and somehow celebrated. I used to rely on you, study your truth, watch over you. New moon, I just detach and count on my lucky star, and that's not you. I have this feeling life got a little tricky lately, long run into the unknown, the new, the exciting, the true calling of my youth. My Scorpio moon is protecting me and has overshadowed your truth. You, and young again I will feel after the next retrograde. I'll no longer feel the urge to blame the world for my problems, for the riot that's in my head. I chase with my wounds, but I would choose with my value. I mean, it's way worse to feel alone around you. I like the solitude of the thousand doubts. I go by when I'm sleepless, hesitant, and at the end of the day, my head rests best on my own pillowcase. On this full moon, the boat has anchored. I tune into my own frequency. I'm a Sagittarius woman, an independent, loyal spirit. My existence is always valid. Only you get me feeling tested. That's all.
All right. So there's the astrology report for this poem. We ask people in the first round if they will read 3 poems.
Yeah.
Are you at? Please, if you can read a second and a third poem, and then we will prepare Benedicta to follow you.
Okay. Well, are there some French speaker here? Because you guys are from the States. More, you can speak French a little.
Oui, je parle français un petit peu, non? Okay, help Laura with the Twin Peaks name. Those of us who understand French, raise your hands for Laura.
Okay, so I can, you guys, another one.
I can't raise my hand, but you know.
Did you? Jack can't raise his hand.
I'm raising my hand virtually.
Oh, he's raising his hand virtually.
Yeah.
We're going to have him on for Halloween too. All right. Okay. So Laura, please.
Oh, I found the one, yeah.
Yeah, you're the one.
It's called Un conte d'été. Voyage jusqu'au bout de ta nuit. Can you?
Okay. A journey to the end of night.
In reference to Céline.
Jean
Voyage
Ferdinand.
jusqu'au bout de la nuit. Jusqu'au bout de ta nuit.
The father of the French modern novel.
Sure. Un conte d'été. La fougue ou la fuite de 2 âmes, de 2 ivres, courant après l'amour d'un pas fragile, d'une folie aussi douce que stupide. Bulle d'amour et de mots interdits, dans l'océan, la rencontre des chairs amaigries, l'écho de tes mots portés par le vide, avide de poèmes et de rires. La violence de ces choses que tu as lues, écrites, interdites de tes mains douces et dociles, manuscrits maudits loin de tes promesses personnelles, recluses et solitaires. Nuit de plaisir que la lune apporte et dépose sur nos corps nus. Hermine serre, le loup dévore. La vérité cachée sous l'alcool se dévoile sous la brume. Matin d'été, sang et travers, aurore magenta, vents et lumières. Sur la gare abandonnée, sous mes paupières empourprées, la ville se réveille. Le jour, la brise, l'opercule fragile que nos yeux dessinent d'un mouvement lent, imperceptible. 12 preuves d'amour empreintes de paroles et de rimes. Emporté par une étreinte lunaire et torride, ton corps souple, endormi, éveille questions et merveilles. Rencontre charnelle de deux âmes au sein d'un rêve. À jamais, projeté sur mon âme, kaléidoscopiquée. Tyrannie de la nuit emportant douceur et consolation. Un passé à réécrire de nos mains portées par l'ennui. Une poussée d'ivresse, un courant de caresses, comme une promesse autrefois énoncée. Ton visage m'est à nouveau étranger, un amour fantasmé, transgressé, dans la violence comme dans l'indifférence, ton absence m'a bouleversée. Un souffle, une odeur, un geste non réclamé, rétrospective lente et infernale de nos mouvements presque effacés. À contre-courant, un radeau m'emporte et m'apporte douceur et consolation, comme une main moite et rassurante appartenant au passé. Quand dans ma tête tout tique et dans mon corps tout déraille, les étoiles s'alignent et mon cœur s'emballe. Dans la traque de ma bête, j'y ai laissé toutes mes armes.
Ok, c'est bien, hein? C'est bien le poème en français, hein, les gens francophones, hein?
Ouais.
Yeah.
Ouais.
On dit en français, applause meter.
Applause,
Okay.
applause. Hey,
Not
Mo,
a-
I am going to turn in early. I got some work tomorrow.
Mhm.
So I'll see you guys later, okay?
And
Okay.
okay, so Mo, you'll leave the station on and the recording button on.
That is correct, sir.
That's my job to remind our tech genius and our poet in his own very good way. So thank you
Thank
and
you,
good night,
Mo.
Mo. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Night, Mo.
Good
Sleep
night.
well. Dort bien.
I
Hi,
will.
Mo.
Bye-bye, Bill.
Soyons des reyes. Okay,
Bye, Mo.
see you, Mo. All right. So now, Laura, encore vous ici, le troisième poème, Free as a Charm.
Mm-hmm. I see. Is Jack here? Jack Cooper, is he
Yes,
here?
Jack is here. He is the invisible Jack Cooper.
Yes. Okay, so another one in English, I guess this is my bestseller. Oh, I'm just kidding. No one is ever listening, but I like this one. And or maybe I should try with like a new piece. I don't know. I feel like this is a safe space and stuff.
Well, we have 2 rounds, so
Yeah.
pick one of them now and save the other one for the second round.
Yeah.
Do them both.
Sure. It's a new piece. Let's be bold. It's called "I Could Hear the Volcano Grounding, but my feet couldn't run properly." Your mama said you'll be the one. You'll find the one, and I was drawn to that road when I found you. I have found discomfort in your truth. But I still held on to my feelings, and now my hands are bleeding, and it feels like the floor broke down in 2,000,000 pieces under my very feet. As I keep telling myself that I shouldn't wash your dishes, that's how I keep building this narrative of becoming a love servant, cleaning the mess you have made one plate at a time. You left me that day. Ever since then, I fall asleep with gratitude and wake up with bitterness. It's like mourning someone you never believed you had found in the first place. The taste of your lips, yes. Your adventurous tongue all over my body. I was the queen until you decided to domesticate me, until my needs were not audible and your problems even more complicated. How would I have prepared for that? Tell me. Through, I could hear the volcano grounding. How could our love have kept me protected when your love and your mixed signals have taken the best from me? I am rich now, I'm free, and the cherries were very flavored with you, my dear. But freedom never tasted better. I owe it all to this breaking heart because I'm open now, looking at the world and it's smiling at me back.
Wow. Yeah. I'll tell you what. You might want to cut a simple dangling participle from that poem, but it's a very powerful poem. Thank you. So is that the one you recently wrote?
Yeah.
That's a very good poem.
Thank you.
And I was really impressed with I was your queen until you domesticated me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, read your other poem and a poem beside that in the second round.
Sure.
And I think it's clear by now that Laura is another one of our poets reading in a second language. So applause for that as well, writing and reading in a second language. Okay.
Right.
So now I was calling on Benedicta to follow you.
Yes, hi Mo.
Well, hello, Benedicta.
Sorry, I was cooking. That's why I was late today.
That's okay. Well, if you were working, hey.
No, cooking.
Oh, cooking. That's even better. Yeah. That's better. So, because Benedicta is a nurse and has been working in healthcare, and through this COVID crisis, Benedicta has been showing up for work steadily, treating people. Want to mention that about you. So, what have you for us this evening, Benedicta?
Okay, well, 3 as usual. The first one, intricate depths, the wrecked underland. As I was sleeping, I dreamt the peculiar risk that I had an imaginative vision here inside my heart, a submerged in journeys from a ticking hourglass, the cardinals of an unreserved deep time. That's the first one.
Ooh, okay, thank you. That's some deep stuff. Ooh. And in a short space of language, that's some deep stuff, Benedicta. Number 2, please.
Thank you.
Please. Number 2.
Okay. Okay, so the second one, it's a haiku. Blooms of abeyance, creeps and pulses, the shades of altruistic measures. That's the second one.
Yes, and when you read such brief, like in the case of this haiku, would you please read it again for us?
Blooms of abeyance, creeps and pulses, the shades of altruistic measures. That's about it.
The shades of altruistic measures. Okay. And 3's a charm, Benedicta?
Okay, the third one is also a haiku, which is clenched. Hold on. Which is clenched and opaque, mystic, penetrating stares of mundane rhythms. That's the last one.
Yes. Well, you know what?
I have to repeat it again.
Yeah, well, I'd like you to read it again because I had a former publisher, Lamont Steptoe from Philadelphia, who used to write haiku, and he would stop and say, "Let me read again," and I appreciated he read again, as I appreciate when you read again your haiku. So please, again.
Okay. Clenched and opaque, mystic, penetrating stares of mundane rhythms.
Okay.
Thank
Moonbeams got rhythm.
you.
Moonbeams got rhythm. All right. Well, thank you, Benedicta, and I'm glad your signal's holding up. Whoop. I'm glad your signal is holding up tonight. Okay. So now I would like to come to Paris in France and call on our trilingual poetess, Caroline Adler. Hello, Caroline.
Hi, Mo. Before we go to Caroline's one, is today your birthday?
Is there a birthday?
I saw a party going on, so I wanted to find out if today is your birthday.
No, today's not my birthday, and I'm not having it rushed forward, neither.
Oh, okay.
I'm in no hurry to get another year older here.
It was
that's
Oto's
fine.
party.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. And so now we'll move over to Caroline Adler. Hello, Caroline.
Hello. Well, I'll begin with a small poem in French. It's about music and silence. Entre les notes. À portée de mots, l'inaccessible. Quelque part en moi s'agitent les mots. Une histoire. Je ne veux pas sentir. Je cours me réfugier dans les musiques, au cœur même, battement de cœur, unisson. La peur au loin qui se lamente. Moi, blotti, caché, au cœur du vide, silence médian.
Okay. Between the words lies a whole consciousness. And you're a refugee in music. I can go with that. When all else is lost, I go to two things, comedy and music. Refuge. Number two, Caroline.
Number two will be in French also. It's about etiquette, posing words and trying to define people with a word. And that's it. La valse des étiquettes. Il y a des gens qui pèsent et puis des gens légers. Il y a des gens qui paient et d'autres qui profitent. Il y a des gens qui baisent et d'autres qui font l'amour. Il y a des nanas qui sucent et d'autres qui font les fiers. Il y a des gens qui pètent et puis des gens qui rotent. Mais quel est le con qui a inventé ces étiquettes? Rangées dans des bocaux bien alignés sur une étagère mentale. Ah non, mon petit, toi t'es étiqueté marrant. T'as pas le droit de tirer la gueule. Ah mais je comprends pas là. Tout à l'heure, t'étais joyeuse, légère, et là, t'as plombé l'ambiance. J'aime pas les gens qui pèsent. Non mais, tu fais des blagues toi maintenant? Tu t'es cru où? Toi, t'es un mec sérieux? Curieusement, je ne suis pas rangée dans les mêmes bocaux d'une personne à l'autre. Alors, suivant le sens du vent, ou mon humeur du jour, je passe ici, ou bien là. Je me découvre clown, légère, ou bien sérieuse, moralisatrice, bavarde, ou bien timide, rebelle, ou trop respectueuse des règles établies, suivant les occasions et le filtre mental de celle ou celui qui me fait face. Multiple? Nous le sommes tous. Les Tibétains disent que dedans, c'est un parlement. Le « je » est au centre et tout autour s'agitent sur les bancs les différentes facettes d'une même personne. C'est peut-être ça le problème. Tout le monde n'a pas forcément envie de sentir ces multiples facettes. C'est tellement rassurant de pouvoir se définir. Oui, mais voilà, nous ne sommes pas des objets et l'âme est ce qu'elle est. Il n'y a pas de honte à être qui on est. Si ça déborde du cadre, c'est qu'il était trop petit. Le cadre, la place, la bonne morale, la bienséance, la politesse et toutes ces règles établies qui changent selon le pays, la personne, l'humeur, pour contenter tout le monde et ne jamais déranger. Autant cesser de vivre. Les gens, c'est comme le temps. Ça change au gré du vent. On pourrait parler d'une sorte de boule à facettes en perpétuelle expansion, une sorte de puzzle qui viendrait s'enrichir à chaque échange. Et par empathie, par effet miroir, petit à petit, je me découvre autant que je découvre l'autre. C'est beau ça. Ça me plaît bien comme image. Soyez vous-même, entièrement, intensément. C'est comme ça que je vous aime.
All right, applause. That's a good, because you say, who was that? I think you said, oh, who was that ass that developed etiquette? Because I know in France, being American, we don't exercise a whole lot of etiquette compared to other cultures. It's true. We're more informal, which is in itself a reason to drop a lot of etiquette and protocol. And much of it I agree with, frankly. I know when I came to France, I had a lot of hard lessons to learn just by not following etiquette was seen as an insult to people. And so I had to learn that. It's really regarded. Okay, so
yeah, Carolyn, I appreciated your talk about labels.
Yes. Etiquette. Yeah.
Etiquette. Yeah. Okay. Oscar Wilde had some great things to say about that. Okay, so Caroline, can we have threes of charm, please?
Yes.
And we would like to follow Caroline with Jack Cooper.
It's some Margaret Atwood poem in English. Another one from the book Morning in the Burned House. It's called Bored. All those times I was bored, out of my mind, holding the log while he sewed it, holding the string while he measured boards, distances between things, or pounded stakes into the ground for rows and rows of lettuces and beets, which I then weeded, or sat in the back of the car, or sat still in boats, sat while at the prow stern wheeled he drove, steered, paddled. It wasn't even boredom. It was looking hard and up close at the small details. Myopia, the worn gangways, the intricate twill of the seat cover, the acid crumbs of loam, the granular pink rock, its igneous veins, the seed fans of dry moss, the blackish and then the graying bristles on the back of his neck. Sometimes he would whistle, sometimes I would. The boring rhythm of doing things over and over, carrying the wood, drying the dishes, such minutiae. It was the animals spent most of their time at ferrying the sand, grain by grain, from their tunnels, shuffling the leaves in their burrows. He pointed such things out, and I would look at the world's texture of a square finger, earth under the nape. Why do I remember it as sunnier all the time than, although it were often rained, and more birdsong? I could hardly wait to get the hell out of there to anywhere else. Perhaps though boredom is happier. It is for dogs or groundhogs. Now I wouldn't be bored. Now I would know too much. Now I would know.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it for shouting down boredom. All right. Good. Okay. Well, thank you, Caroline. And now we'd like to turn it over to Jack Cooper. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Mo. Hello, everyone. I apologize for my coming in and out. I think a bell rings, but my Zoom keeps crashing.
Okay.
And I also, you also can't see me, so I know that.
Your Zoom is crashing?
Yes.
Well, better than a flight.
That is true. That is true. But I realize, well, anyway, you can't see me. And I know that's a form of deprivation. So Dane used the phrase, everything that lives is holy, I think. So that made me think of a poem that I have called Integration, which is the title, and it's followed by a comma. Integration, at least mathematically, a movement backward. We come from afar and slowly, slowly return to our origins. The point, a circle, really zero-like, mouths open, crying for love, through which we have passed once and will. Souls, the holes in our time being, the holes, wholly ours, holy, 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 wholly ours, Lord God of holes, ghost of ourselves above, to which we reascend from below.
Well, all right.
Well, all right.
Well, all right.
Well, you
Applause
can't see
meter.
us, we're
I
all
sense
snapping.
applause meter.
Huh? Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I hope you can see our approving faces.
I
Jack.
can see some of your faces, yes.
Okay.
And I appreciate that.
All right. So number 2 from you.
Number 2 is, I mean, this was I chose this in the spirit of 100,000 Poets for Change. This is a poem that I translated from Italian. It's in English, it's called The Limping Cricket. And it was written by a poet named Carlo Alberto Salustri, who is known as Trilussa. And he lived from 1873 to 1950. And the first line contains a fairly unusual word, which is saltatorial, which is the back leg of a cricket, the one he hops with. The limping cricket. I'd so saltatorial to stand on by then, a cricket was saying. The other one that I missed still dangled from the tiny loop of string attached to it. When my end of the bargain turned me captive with a noose around my foot, tethered to a mere youngster, there was but one thought I had in mind: hobble back into the garden. The pain endured was enormous, yet the drop of blood that sprang from the spot where my leg tore burst in the sun like a spark that had exploded. And maybe one day God will see fit to consecrate all the blood spilled drip by drip that we serve up, so that the word liberty can be spelled.
Yes, yes, so that liberty can be spelled. Good selection, and thanks for reading that poet, Jack.
Yeah.
Well done, Jack.
Thank you, Benedicta.
And I
You're
want to
most
mention,
welcome.
and I want to mention my error. It's actually next week is the international round of participants in 100,000 Poets for Change. Last week I incorrectly called it for this week, but in fact it happens next week, where we will ask each and every one of you to read a poem that lends itself to change, and preferably change beyond just oneself. It could be change of oneself connected to the greater, or directly talking about the greater. That is our suggestion, and the rules are poetry rules. That's it.
Well, you don't say.
That's right, baby.
So can I take those two back and read two others? No.
But I'd like you to read Fees of Charm.
All right. Okay, well, I'm going to read this. It's called Why, oh, hold on, I lost it. Why I Am Not a Scientist. It's what I'm for and everything else against, interwoven along the cosmic fence. Sovereign principle in action. What is shall always remain, although invisible. I can see, but feeling, believe I know. Love bears the whole through a universe. Everyone bleeds. What is must remain, even though unrepeatable. Only world, only soul, only heart ever possible to acquire or acquaint. Statement of the obvious, tipped toward the point of oblivion, which every science shows the true name for the indivisible, therefore a God.
Okay. Very nice, Jack. Very
Thank you.
nice.
Passionate, Jack.
Okay. Got the applause meter on that one.
All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
And there's been a lot of applause meters tonight. This must be Angora poets. As I like to say, this ain't the Gong Show. All right. I would like to call next Vicky, to be followed by Claire. Hello, Vicky. Hello, Vicky.
I'm here.
Hi. How are you?
I'm here.
Okay. And we're going to turn the volume up so we can hear you.
Is it better?
Better with my volume turned up.
Okay. Well, I had picked out the poem for change that I thought we were going to read this week, so I'll save it for next week.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was my error. It really was.
Okay, because I'll save it for next week. It was the one that Donnell Lee did, but I have another one from him, so I'll do the other one from him. Okay, so navigating here. What is this? I did my poem on on cool when I was younger, when I heard his poem on cool. So this first poem is called But He Was Cool. He even stopped for green lights. And then after I do his, I'll do my version. And the thing about poor people, we had to make up for being poor. And how we made up for being poor was we did everything that we thought would make us look cool. And cool is basically all we had. We had cool. So it goes like this. Super cool, ultra black, a tan purple, had a beautiful shade. He had a double natural that would put the sisters to shame. And his beads were imported seashells from some black country I never heard of. He was triple hip. His tikis were hand carved out of ivory and came express from the motherland. He would greet you in Swahili and say goodbye in Yoruba. Woo, Jim. He be so cool, and I'll tell legit. Cool. Cool is so cool. He was uncool by other niggas. Cool. Cool. Ultra cool was bop cool. Icebox cool. So cool. Cold cool. His wine didn't even have to be cool. Him was air conditioned cool. Cool, cool, real cool. Made me cool. Now ain't that cool? Cool, cool, so cool. Him nicknamed refrigerator. Cool, cool, so cool. He didn't even know after Detroit, Newark, Chicago, and C-Town, we had hip cool, cool, super cool, real cool. That to be black is to be very hot. That's cool by Donnell Lee.
I remember him. Nice selection. And, you know, cool was everything. You see, as you're explaining, cool is a state of mind backed up by the look in public. And I remember one phrase I used to throw around, I'm so cool, I wear sunglasses at night.
Okay. Okay, so this is my version of cool called We Be Cool. I wrote it back in the day when I was young. I'm 72 years old now, so it's been a long time. But this was been tweaked for during the times because the children's lingo have changed, and so I had to change some of the pieces, parts of the poem. The name of this is We Be Cool, and it's during a time when some of us didn't even have cars. We walked. So we had to walk cool. Everything we did, we had to do it cool, right? And if somebody had a car and you were walking cool enough, they would actually get jealous and park their car and come walk with you and try to pick up on your dap. So that's how cool you had to be, cool enough to make somebody walk with you and catch on to you how cool you were. So the name of this piece is called We Be Cool. Struggling but cool, cardboard and shoes. Still, we was cool. Just walk anyway. Sound cool with your jive talking, bebop while walking. You'll be cool like individual swag, like sneakers and dress shoes, like fire hydrants and swimming pools. Cool is all there is, like big white shirts and blue jeans, like peanut butter and bananas. If it was not cool, we knew how to make it cool, like you know how we do. We who make things be cool, that was not cool, now cool. Cool like baseball hats and bandanas, like what's up and what it be about. We make words have new meanings like that's that, like that's that and getting fatter. We take cool to a new level. We got bands around our cool. We be stacking with that cool, straight tripping with that cool, cause we be cool.
You be so cool in that poem. Cool is a verb, cool is a noun, cool is an adjective.
Yeah, that's
I,
cool. That's cool.
some of you folks French, some of you French folks might understand that occasionally I've come out and said to somebody, it's kind of slipped, be cool, man. And French go, what is cool? And I find it like it's got so many meanings. You know, English, we often put synonyms and extra meanings. Cool's a state of mind. What kind of state of mind? Chill. What do you mean chill? Content? No, content ain't exactly cool. So I've given up trying to explain cool because cool is uniquely, it is a state of mind, just like beat is a state of mind.
Right.
You know? All right.
When I was in middle school, I was introduced to the code of dress, which was comfort for cool.
Yeah, good. That's it. Right. Okay. So, and there's even cool down, you know, doucement. Cool is used in a myriad of ways. It would be cool, Vicky, if we could hear your Three is a Charm poem.
Okay, my Three is a Charm poem was written in 2014 for Poetry Month, day 30, the last day of Poetry Month. And the name of this piece is called The Humorous Truth. Too much falderall. The truth does not escape you. You just must stop ducking. Hearsay won't clear the way. Repeating what you've heard keeps you slower than a constipated turd. Cleanse the bowels of your mind. Research. Trail the path. Everybody's talking about paradise, yet ain't going there. Cleanse the colon of your body too. For you, the truth is too austere. Study, research, do the math. Mythology is filled with clues. For the truth, you must pursue. Too much falderall. You've been tied to lies too long, led by the nose, brains dead from cell phones, mass stupidity. Anything goes. The truth does not escape you. It's looking right at you, but who wants to know the truth? Really? The birds ate all your breadcrumbs, so you sit there, never finding your way home. How silly. Go the way the crow flies, the way the wind blows. Too much falderall. The truth does not escape you. You just must stop jiving and shucking. Hearsay won't clear the way. Repeating what you've heard will keep you slower than a constipated turd. And all I have for you to say is, all I have to say to you is too much falderall. Yes, I use the word turd because it rhymed. Still, it made a metaphorical analogy. My apology, but think for yourself at least one time. In peace.
All right. Uh-oh, applause meter, up, 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 up. And Vicky, you brought me way back when you were talking about shucking and jiving. I'm not even going to try to explain that here, but you don't need to be shucking and jiving. All right. Nice go, Vicky. Thank you. And we're calling on Claire Andriani next. But while we have her on screen, I want to say hello to Magna Zegar, Delila's daughter. And I wanted to ask you, while we have you, Magna, this is her first time on an Angora Poets in any capacity, real or virtual. And it's good to see you back in Paris, I presume. You're in Paris tonight?
Yeah, I am.
Right? Okay. So as I mentioned to people, you left lycée in Algiers and then went to school in Lyon and then went to school in Berkeley and now you're at Columbia. And that's one hell of an achievement.
Thank you.
But what I'd like to ask you is, what is your sense of the poetry scene that you've gone through, you know, as an Algerian in the United States? What do you have a sense of a reaction to the poetry around you in the States?
Yeah, I do actually. I think that obviously, as many of you must know, it was a much more I guess New York and San Francisco are comparable in terms of crazy creative, you know, sort of topography of the two places. But I was lucky enough to live with a woman who was just, you know, working on poetry as her daily activity. She was in theater, she was a dancer as well, and she was doing a lot of poetry. So I was on a daily basis just listening to her in the other room, the flat that we were sharing, just work on her words and her ideas and sometimes sing them. And the thing that surprised me all the time was whenever she would perform in public, not just to me, but to the entire audience, be it in a cafe or at an open mic, or it was completely different from everything I had heard for the whole day or the past few days before she would perform. And I always remembered that fondly because it showed how, you know, it's a whole sort of, you know, creative process, like a little bulldozer. I don't know if that's a good metaphor, but it's really, you go through so many processes, and I'm sure I mean, the product in the end is nothing you had thought of at the very beginning of the process. In New York, I moved there when Trump was elected. So the poetry that I heard was extremely political and, let's be honest, very therapeutic for me, because it was just extremely important to listen to people express their ideas, their ideals even, and their, you know, will to get mobilized and do something about this terrible, terrible mess. Through poetry, it was just good to hear their thoughts and whatever they expressed in their work echo the madness that I was going through and the despair of moving there just when he got elected, which was kind of a bad timing. You know, I moved there for Obama and then I got Trump, but hopefully in November that will be a different story, I hope.
Is your visa status secure for the moment?
Right now it's in limbo. I guess I don't know what the word for that is, but I'm making the most of it. I think COVID hit me hard when I was in New York. It was just such a terrible, I mean, I cannot even complain because there's still security and there's still things in the horizon to look at, I guess. But I've seen so much despair and loss around me with the people I love and work with, that for now I can't complain. It's just good to be back home, stay with mom for a bit, work as much as I can, and we'll see what happens next year. I think it's definitely tied to whether or not Trump gets reelected.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no fan of Joe Biden, but I say dump Trump. Yeah. I think a lot with a lot of other people. Finally, are you working on your doctorate?
I am. So I compare social housing construction between Harlem and Aubervilliers, which, for those of you who know a little bit about Paris and its banlieue, it's a banlieue that it's right north of Paris, at just the edge of Paris. And well, Harlem is especially the section of Harlem that I look at, which we Francophone people know as Spanish Harlem, and I'm sure it's still nicknamed like this. Very, very interesting politically in terms of the historical, creative political ideas that were sort of generated there, and how I believe it impacted the entire world. And then in Aubervilliers, it's also sort of a mecca of communist political thinking and mobilization, and a lot of that impacted how people wanted to really build social mix and, you know, go against all the terrible dynamics of inequality and discrimination and racism. And so I'm trying to like compare the two places and see where they came from and where they're going.
Well, now, when for those of us who don't know, when Magna says suburb or banlieue, in most of the world, the suburb is where the working class and the lower class lives. It was in America that the suburbs were originally created for the social ascending, you know, from proletarian to middle class. So that's a good comparison, Aubervilliers and East Harlem, or Spanish Harlem. Okay. Okay, so good to hear you, and I wish you all the best. And my daughter Caitlin, who grew up in Paris, moved to New York after her lycée, and she came back to Paris a couple weeks ago to get a break from Zoo York, and now she's back in Zoo York, and she's flirting with the idea of coming back to Paris for a while. So there's a lot of people. Once again, your generation is in flux with travel and location. We thought in ours it was about get on the road and hitchhike. For yours is where can I live next? You know, and well, good luck, and good luck for all of us. Anyone but Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for giving us your experiences. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to stay in Paris and invite a trilingual French woman on to present, and that's Claire Andriani. Hello, Claire.
Hi, everyone. Really happy to see you. Okay, my first poem is something I wrote while witnessing a very happy family scene. And at that point, I started thinking about all the families that are not so happy. And it's called Infamous Family, or Dad is Busy Today. Dad is busy today, the girl says to her mom over the phone. Listening to her, I wonder where my family is. I have abandoned it, wanting to save myself on the shore, leaving a sinking boat on fire, filled with lies, hatred, feelings untold. Dad is busy today, the girl repeats. He won't go with us at the restaurant. They are about to gather to have dinner together in love and peace, something I have never known. The people around me synonymous with eternal adversity, war and conflict, a civil war hidden in a family where words are cannonballs and tyrants act and go on unpunished. The people outside me laugh. They have no idea that the word family can be a synonym for fear. And I write to grow and shut away the pain, where the real assholes are always happy and laugh, while America has chosen the laughing father, mocking and abusing his own child outwardly.
Can't argue with that. I like to say I had a very dysfunctional family, so I didn't want to remain a victim in my head. But I do say families, everybody got one.
Exactly. Now I have a very, very short poem, and it's called Choice. Choice. How difficult it is between one plastic bag and another to choose the one or the other. And I always wonder, why? This is just to reflect on the absurdity of, you have so many plastic bags all over the place and in the supermarket everywhere, especially in New York when I was there. And it's just crazy. I mean, you have so much choice in supermarkets. You know that everything is going to go to the bin. So yeah, that's a very short poem to express that.
Well, Mo did a wonderful poem talking about earlier tonight, plastic as the middle child. of our industrial
Yeah.
creation, you know. And I can tell you, you're right about it. I stay in New York across the street from Columbia University, Magda, at 115th and Broadway, right next to the supermarket, Morton Williamson. And I go in there, and all I want at night, you know, I do monkey food. So late at night after I've been downtown, you know, late, then I come uptown where it's quiet. And I go to the supermarket, it's open 24 hours, and I might have 4 bananas and goat cheese. And before I can say anything, they want to bag it in 2 bags minimum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's completely crazy.
And I have to actually intervene. No, I'll carry it 50 yards to the front door of my building and up an elevator.
Yeah.
And they look at me like I'm strange when I say, please don't bag. So that's my example that frustrates me. Okay. So your next one, please, Claire. 3 is a charm, I believe, right? Are we up to 3 as a charm?
3 as a charm. I still have to read one, and it's in French.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and it's called Passion des âmes sages. So it's
Passion?
about Passion des âmes sages, passion of wise souls.
Okay.
And it's about loving, and sometimes, you know, suffering through love, but loving to suffer, because you're basically, you know, you're there. So, Passion des âmes sages. Son grand front m'éblouit, à chaque fois il me parle, lorsque son visage d'ange blanchit sous les lumières sauvages de la nuit, les lampadaires lui donnant un air de lumière interdite. Cette lumière au fond de l'âme qui berce les passions les plus douces. Mes mains sont froides, et elles me poussent à voir la jeunesse de ce front, éclairé par la lueur du matin, d'une âme fraîche et féconde. La pluie s'en mêle et toute froide je m'en vais, sentant la chaleur de la passion s'envoler, comme un oiseau sauvage dont je suis privée. Oh, l'orage d'une belle saison s'en va enfin et me laisse seule, obscure, des souvenirs presque interdits, des lueurs du réel qui rient et me montrent des images trop souvent parties. Des images qui parlent, une musique que je n'ai point entendue dans mon âme sage, qui sourit à la lueur d'un amour sauvage, pris par le tourbillon infernal de la nuit qui me lance. D'amour détruite, et je rêve à des âges où la passion est intacte. Les âmes sages seraient maudites, car oh comme j'aime cette douleur. Elle est plus grande que tout homme, et me transperce de ces images d'un passé maudit qui rit. Des images interdits. Oubliez pour que l'orage cesse dans mon âme secouée par la passion d'un amour interdit. Okay.
Well, that's why they call it forbidden love, as you just mentioned.
Thank you.
No free rides, there's a price. You know, I wrote about that in terms of my family background, and you said people who embrace suffering. And I wrote about it in terms of my own crazy family with hammers and nails they leave behind, we pick up and use on ourselves. You know, bad parental conditioning. Well, thank you, Claire. And again, reading and writing in 2 languages tonight, really appreciate it. And I would like to mention that at this point, I believe I am the last poet of this round. And I also wish to read about family life in a not so pleasant manner. And someone asked me the other week, can you read that again? And I said, I have enough, I've read enough time. I had enough time, or a couple of weeks ago. So what I'll do is repeat it and read it tonight. And so here we go, here we are. The first one is called Man-Child. My cry, infant's call of need. It might have been the wetness, hunger, thirst, innocent desire, to be in her arms. You hit me, I cried louder, this time in pain. You hit me again. Stream of blood down my forehead to the emergency room. Tell them you fell down the stairs and I buy you some ice cream. Oh, thank you, Daddy. And I stopped. Your method, it worked well. Winter walks to school when ice bites. No mittens, no breakfast, not a whimper. After dark, lost in that neighborhood of hostiles and violence, I navigated my way through nightmares, stuffing terror in the base of my neck. And you went upside my head for getting home late. Yes, you did. Later in bed, the springs rattled, but not I. And now I am the father. And when I think of you, the raging colors of violence, the striking torrents of rage, the knuckle sandwich desserts, an eerie quiet, an easy calm. My only request, if I ever lay a hand to my baby boy, I want you to chop off my arm, make me eat it in front of him. The manly thing to do, you understand. Okay. Now here's another one that I recorded as, wait a minute, here's another one. Yeah, they're both jazz poems, and I'll recite them without the free jazz quartet behind me. And this is a double entendre, a compound sentence. Stench of booze breath, reeking cigarette, smoked off butt end of acrid tongue, sirens impending calamity, permeates dank air, packed thick, still this overcrowded not for living room. Predictably spent his last dime, another bottle of sick spirit, eating his insides, rise volcanic, eruptions rain down. We have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. It's night and Flash Monster Casey at bat. Bodies launched with the greatest of ease. How the circus begins. The show must go on. Illusion of grace. Round flesh tumbles to rest at ungiving, not for dining room wall. Everybody hungry, perfect execution, evidence of countless rehearsals, none for pretend. The ringmaster roars, "This is a take," and hurls you into bad entropy. Where stunt babies, gasping and squirming, frenzied eyes bulging, plead no more dreaded encores. Rake your sleep, alien visitor to your own dreams. Wake in morning, he's always silent, indifferently calm. It never ever happened. Rinse our debris and drain choked on excess. Stir like freaks on reprieve, conscripts in your circus, mutant extras cast for unfinished movie, we ever-present acrobats. Daddy, I think you wish we weren't here so you wouldn't have to work so hard. And so do we. Okay. And now, and my my last poem, I
said, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, these are not exactly poems for bells and whistles, but they certainly help me purge some pain and purge my sense of being a victim, as in was a victim, am not a victim now. You might have robbed my early years, Daddy-O, but you don't own the present. All right, this is called Chaos. And I wrote this out the kitchen window of this apartment. All this chicken little shit dew drop from the breaking sky, cloud burst 9 o'clock high, and I ain't had time to suck down morning or a second cup of coffee. So I pin a smoke behind my ear, clicked a leash to the dog, hitting the street, we turn right at the corner and head for the park. Me in the mutt, aimless our amble, birds of a feather, eyes to the dirt, worms in the hole, sun out of sight, mind in a fix. Not quite on speaking terms with myself, I just let out a whistle and wonder, oh shit, my dog is barking. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. A little applause meter on that for me. I appreciate that among you good poets. So now what we're going to do is take ourselves a little break. And I think everybody should appreciate all the affirmative remarks made about each other through the evening. That's one thing that I've been noticing happily. And let's have a chat for a few minutes and come back on for the second round, where you are all invited to read 2 poems in the second round. So as there are no rules, I am going to pee. See you in a minute.
Bye. How elegant.
Yes, so natural.
Thank you, everybody. Today, tonight, wherever you are, we're just slamming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen, I love the pieces that you picked to read. They were so good.
Hey, thank you.
I'll
I've got
start.
a huge stack of books since I've been going to all these, meeting all these new poets, and I'm like, okay. I got a
It's
lot
been
to
great.
read.
I've been swapping books with so many poets. I'm building my library.
Right.
Yeah.
A belated happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. That was awesome. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of technical crap in the beginning, but you worked it out.
I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous. So Facebook was not helpful. And everybody was trying to help, and that was so cute. Everybody was trying to help, but I was on the new version, and they're sending me instructions from the old version, and I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, but you worked.
Karen, I hope you enjoyed yourself that day.
Thank you.
And I like
I
the
hope
way
you enjoyed yourself that day.
I did.
Oh, that's great.
And I liked hearing you on the one video where you were looking like, no, wait a minute, which way is this supposed to go? Remember, you were kind of looking very tentative before you began. Every poet knows that. Everybody on stage has encountered that, like limbo.
Well, I had to laugh on one of the ones before I had to like go off and come back on. I was like, crap. And I said it quietly. I think I might have been the only person that caught it. And I'm glad it was only crap that I said.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was it. I knew when I saw that video and I said, oh, let me see. I saw your face and I knew something was up. You were like, You can imagine what was going on in your mind.
You don't want to.
And speaking of birthdays, yesterday in Paris, we held a birthday celebration as a picnic in the park for our poet who is Zoom shy. He's an Angora poet. And and a member of the Federation de Poètes. And he doesn't like to go on Zoom. And that's too bad because he reads in 4 languages. His native Nicaraguan Spanish and French and he's read in Portuguese, and he's even read in Japanese.
Mm.
Wow.
So we had a picnic for him yesterday, and a lot of us came out, and well, just being outdoors and being together again among so many of us who were not together since late February,
Mhm.
you know, in Paris, just like it's been in the States and other countries. So it was cool. And we all did poems. And like Angora, as a World Cafe, we poemed and sang in French, Spanish, and English. And everybody dug it. They dug it. We were cool, Vicky.
Mhm.
So,
I love the initiative of the spoken word Paris, Antonia. I don't know if she still hosts the event, but ever since the lockdown has ended, they do the event and the round on Mondays outdoors near Ile Saint Louis, right? Never never been there to listen to them, but I used to go to Le Chat Noir a lot. I think that's where I met Jack, if I
okay.
remember very well.
Yeah. And
Although
from what I
Jack is
heard,
lost here. There he
and
is. Okay.
I used to go to,
Yes. Yeah, those are still happening, but they're happening outdoors.
Yeah.
I used to go to Spoken Word Paris a lot, and until the chief man there, David Barnes, accused me of sexual harassment for reading an erotic poem. So and said he didn't want me to come back because the erotic poem made people feel unsafe. And
I
so
mean,
I thought,
isn't it like the goal of like poetry to just express vulnerability? And like every time I speak about my experience, I know that some people would be shook or just like maybe it will like resonate with them too much, but like I'm not responsible for that. And just like this guy David, he never showed any sympathy to me. He never like even say hi to me, and just like, and the fact that we have to pay and put money into the hat, and in most of like bars where you perform poetry, you are the one who gets the free drink because you are like the entertainment to people, and you are like, and the fact that I'm not always like welcomed, and also the fact that they have like a theme all the time, that it feels like there are too much like, it's too much work like for like poetry and something that's supposed to be, you know, like it's not a safe space for me. I've stopped going there because I feel like, and also it's really competitive. So as much as I appreciate you, Jack, and Antonia, and so many amazing people that I've met there, I think, I don't know, the vibe was just like not. But I'm glad that they have some event and it's going well. They have some amazing guest poet, but I don't know. I guess like it's not just like resonating with me anymore.
well, there's certainly a lot of fine poets who participate there.
Yeah.
And I do agree with it. It was rather overmanaged from my personal point of view.
Yeah.
And I know that Barnes gave me a lot of flack when I studied Angora poets because he said, you know, we have a second Anglo-Saxon reading. I've designated it. And I went, well, okay, fine. There's room for more. So yeah, that can happen, you know, and that's all. I don't go. I used to go and just smile right past him, you know, as best I could, because I had known him for 10 years and knew that he used to act out on a lot of good people. And then a lot of good people, because they wanted to be heard in that reading, came back anyway. And that's common. It happens in New York too, where people don't like the host, but they show for the reading, you know. So, okay, you know. But when he told me that some people reported not feeling comfortable, first it was they didn't feel safe. That's what he said. Because I had read an erotic poem that they felt was made me a sexual predator.
You're a dangerous man, Mo.
I hope so. Jesus, I'm reading the poets, not Sunday school children, but some people, and this goes for a lot of people, not just Barnes.
Oh
let's
my.
have a good time and I will control it. He is one of them. Nonetheless, there's a lot of good people that have gone there over the years, and that's where that's at. Do not dismiss the poets, given the fact that the chief is an asshole. You know what I mean? You got to be that way. So anyway, that's that. And one thing about here that I like to say about Angora poets is that I have published, printed many times that all of our invited poets are features and well deserved. So we don't have, by virtue of the caliber of our poets, young and old, published and unpublished, it doesn't matter, by the fact that they're truly working poets and appeal to us in various ways. One, we don't have to be the gong show. I just landed from Iowa and I'm in Paris and you're supposed to read poetry in Paris. Well, all right. Okay, fine. That's what open stages are for. On the other hand, I'm very proud to say that Angora poets, poems land one after another and every poet is a feature and well deserved. And that's my pride about this series and those of you who participate in it.
Yes.
Glad
Thank
to
you
be
for
here,
like
Mom.
providing like a safe space for us. Like feels really good to be able to like express ourselves and experiment without having people judging or like comparing to like last week's work or like anything or like the theme or like anything, and you don't have to pay and you just like go with the flow and it feels really great. So thank you for that.
Yeah, like I like to say at the end of every session, everybody thank everybody. I have the easiest job in this whole group. I get to invite and listen to high caliber poets, even with my mental disabilities, my limited storage space. So that's good for me. Well, how about the rest of you? What's your mood around these days with the various poetry stages that you've been on?
Very nice. Very nice to be in this house. It's a fine house.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I've been to not a lot of them that I wouldn't go back. I guess I'm promiscuous that way, but I have been to some, just one that was just unbearable. It was just unbearable. But it was okay. It's good to try to have an open mind and not, just receive what's coming out. And but the level of work that people are doing here is I would say expert. And that's nice. So.
Yeah, as Vicky would say, we're cool.
This is where the cool kids hang out.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Bill.
Mo, I already told you that I thought that you were the one that carried on John Clifham's tradition the most, and I always felt the most comfortable at Angora Poets, and now with Zoom, this is where I feel the most comfortable.
Oh, well, I want to mention this, Mr. Bill, that on October 1st, I am hosting the Angora Poets at Bar Lulu in the 11th arrondissement on a Thursday night with a jazz trio. I'm calling my boys back, Patrick Sadak, and Tommy McKenna, and we're going to accompany every poet who wants to be accompanied by jazz. And the formula is real simple. What's your theme? What is your mood? And what is your tempo? So to make it easy, people might say, my theme is love. Okay, what's your mood? Lost love. Oh, what's your tempo? Maybe slow and deliberate. Okay, let's give me something okay, boys, let's play something real slow by Miles Davis. Do, Boo, boo, boo.
You
And,
have,
you know,
you have an electric guitar in the group?
we do. That's Patrick Sidak. Patrick Sidak.
Do you need
And so,
I would be down to go. Do you have a drummer?
no, because you know why? In this days of social distancing and cheap bar owners not wanting to pay us very much on both sides of the Atlantic, actually, we're going to go in a trio. It's going to be a bass, and a guitar, and I'm going to host and do what I do. Make weird noises and background sounds, as I've done it in the past. I've hosted these in the past, and many people who've never recited to jazz go, well, I don't know, because we listen to them.
Yeah.
As we have that idea, your theme, your mood, and your tempo. Because we do know music, then we hit on something that approximates what you're reading. And if you speed it up or slow it down, as we're listening, we speed up and slow down with you.
Word.
And many poets have found that, wow, I did it as a jazz poet. And we said, yeah.
We had a series called Be Poetic, me and Albie on bass, and unfortunately it ended because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But that was we would invite poets to come and do a piece live, and all of the poets had never done it to music, and so Albie just totally improvises along with the words, and they all went for it, which was very cool. And they all really dug it. They had never done it before. It's a really neat experience to do it with musicians, as you know, Mo.
I do. And I'm sorry, I will turn the screw one more time. I did that twice for Spoken Word Paris because the poets wanted it done again back to back. And David Barnes stopped it because it said it diverted from the intention of the reading series. So we stopped and we did it in other places. Because you're right, people find themselves liking themselves.
Digging it, yeah.
To digging it.
It also helps the poet find the words or find the space between the words. It's
Now, you're exactly right. And it was a Caroline or one of our Francophone poets who said, entre les mots, l'espace entre les mots. Well, when I first started doing this long ago with the people in Paris that were with Archie Shepp and David Murray and Russell Sadiq, I would say, okay, guys, I'm going to read this. Here's the poem, and would go over it real quickly. And here's what I'd like you to do for me. And they'd go, okay. And then I would begin a line, particularly with my trumpet player, Russell Sadiq, accompanying me. And when the line was half over, I would realize that line is done.
Right.
Because hearing it in music, that second half of that line ain't nothing but clever. The weight of that line was halfway through, so stop. And so I edited it for publishing and would perform it again that way. As the rehearsals, and sometimes live, would inform me about a voice inside the poem that I wrote that was coming out and I hadn't realized until I had to do timing. I had to do timing to jazz timing, which informed me. So it
Okay, so Ma, what if your mood is neutral? How would they go about it?
Say what?
What if the mood in the poem is neutral? How would they go about it with the jazz?
Yeah, you got me, because a poem that's neutral, wow, here's your soup, it's 100% water. We certainly don't have to worry about that in this group. That is for sure. Okay, so I'm going to ask you again before we start the second round now, which we're ready to do, to aid our efforts, and that is this. When I send you all an invitation for next Sunday's Angora Poets, I would like you to put that invitation, that invite I sent you, on your page. And I'll tell you why. Sure, we like the publicity. Sure, it assuages my ego. But more importantly, when I see the quality of you poets recommending Angora poets, I'm saying, wow, if he or she recommends this reading and they're a good poet, I need to know about it. In other words, the value of your own quality of work is what we're using to promote Angora poets. We're not Instagram phonies. We're not into Twitter wars, but just the quality of you all reproducing our work. And people have been doing that. And I want to thank you so much for it. So I want to thank you to participate in the second round. And I would like to call on the judge again, who blew the lid off from the beginning of this reading and opened it up for the rest of us. And that's the judge. He renders opinions. And that's Bill Strangmeyer. You're on, Billy.
Okay, thank you, Mo. Opinions off. About some romance. Another parody of the Song of Songs. My love you are, of a higher justice, the glory of beauty ineradicably. Your breasts are sudden and firm, surprising like opulent peace. Your legs too, long and muscled, frighten and soothe me. Smooth and hued they are. I slide into your arms, subtle and smooth like sophistication. Your soft-skinned buttocks roll like a glimmering heart, but are less straightforward. Your feet are more naked than the little steps of nervous cheetahs. The mountain of my desire dreams in the clouds and is hidden. I reach towards your ankle and feel the peach fuzz shamelessness of innocence, the birth of pleasure from a peppery egg of straining calm. All this is some of what you are, a hidden closet to which to flee harsh, sore-eyed fatigue in a cruel city, filled with pain and heat by my paranoia. And I am this and I am that, and somehow some of that is you, like the glow on your skin in my eyes. We are not the young, we are not children, and in this we are strong for a minute. All ages, we are not the young, we are not children, and in this are strong, and for a minute all ages and all maybes are ours in a carnal and thirsting embrace.
Ooh, let's hear it for passion, passion.
Yeah.
Turn it up, turn up the heat.
Thank you.
Number 2, Bill, please.
Let's see. Okay. A boy's true lies. The scent of powder on my hand where I touched the spot and felt your breath, where you warmed my dreams in my baby land I'll keep till my death in Babylon. Breathe, baby, breathe, and give me the scent of your peppery mouth. My blood throbs hard and my senses are alive. I can make this second last and last. Within your bosom hold this key. The monkey gods will dance with glee. In my fitful dreams I'll stroke velvet skin, and my fire and mind will love a doubled sin. We will be glad. We'll dance and play. I've seen it happen, kept the count. A stomping dance and a feeling so strong, we'll call out our desire from the highest mount.
All right. Very nice. What is our double sin, Bill?
Oh, that's the mystery. That's what's called.
Well, help us out with the low IQ people.
That's what
Okay,
it's called. That's what is called a sin, and we know that they don't like it, but we do it anyway.
Okay.
And who
All
are
right.
they?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for unleashing that torrent of passion. Okay, so we went next with She's Smiling Again. Uh-oh, I see you smiling. You know who I'm talking to. She got a smile wide as a country mile. All right, so Karen, welcome back on board. And would you please give us 2 pieces?
Okay, these are mine. This one is called Silent Forager. I am a poetry shark, siding through these cyber waters, electroreceptors in my skin a tingle, circling through event pages in search of the next open mic. My local water's inaccessible. It's only 9:30 p.m. in my time zone. Surely there are other newer waters to explore. Look, happening now, somewhere in central Missouri. I slide into the room, feed quietly on words and new voices. When the event comes to a close, I silently glide away, still hungry for more, leaving nothing in my wake but questions. Who was that? Where did she come from? That's that piece.
Wow. Yeah, good to hear your own words. And if you would, encore et encore, if you would read again, please.
All right. And this is another Zoom poem. Hello, sunshine, he typed privately to me in the chat of a Zoom room, and I favored him with a beaming facade right before my face settled back into the flatline smile I wear these days. I just don't feel like smiling all the time anymore. Even the sun gets a break on a cloudy day. That's that.
That, yeah, that's applause, mita, applause. Thank you, Karen. Very nice. And I hope you did enjoy a nice birthday.
I did.
Okay. And I love your smile. So anyway, love your smile.
Thanks.
Okay. So I would like to go next to someone who's appearing again at their first time tonight. And that would be Dave Wilson over there in Oakland, I guess it is.
No, I'm in San Francisco, Mo.
Okay. You're
But,
living with the...
I'm a East Bay, grew up there, but I've been living in the city since the 80s now.
All righty.
The very heart of the city.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Great to be here today. I've been reading from this little chapbook of mine that I put out a few years back. So here, a poem unbidden, hollow inside, as if somebody were sucking out my guts with a straw. This queasy boundary between sickness and health. This is the place where things change. This is the place that poems come from. This is the place where time stands still. I know too many people pluck at me with their eyes. Too many people draw the strength right out of me. I'm trying to write a poem while my body wavers in a temporary wind. The stuff of dreams is made of fragile stuff. Poems grow out of dissolution, arriving unannounced, banging upon the doors of consciousness. Let me in out of the cold. I'm so empty and tired. Why should I be your means to expression, you poem? I know better than to think I wrought you.
Wow. Submitting to the muse. All right. Submitting to the muse. Nice. Can you give us another?
Glad to see some of my old friends here.
Yeah.
New ones. Here's another
Good.
poem.
Please.
Where earth meets sky. On a high mountain pass, all about me peaks, crowned with clouds, deep valley wells, The wind blows alive. Mountains as far as the eye can see. The walk sweat cool upon me, balanced in the sky. I strip off my outer skin and fling it on the wind.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, we're all the better for it. And
Sure.
yeah, and so you are so thoroughly invited to come back next week. Okay.
Look forward to that.
Yeah. Okay, so very good. Well, I'd like to go from San Francisco down to New Orleans and ask New Orleanian here, Jane Spoken Word, to present for us.
I've been inspired by the different languages today, so I'm going to try my hand at it. This is a piece I wrote for Yuko Otomo's birthday a couple of years ago. And it's a haiku, very much like Yuko, English, and she does hers in English and Japanese. Mine is English and French. In the shine of sun, Yuko flowers in the light. She breaks the silence. Dans le beau soleil, Yuko fleure dans la lumière. Elle casse silence. For my girl Yuko.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, Yuko.
Yuko is appearing this week in London, and I'm gonna, invite her down to Paris and see if we can't put something quickly together under these circumstances.
That'd be beautiful.
She's one of 3 featured readers on a very nice London stage this week.
Nice.
All right, another one from you, Jane Spoken Word.
All right. So it's called Confined by Your Lies. Confined by your lies, I realize that we have all been civilized. Sentenced to solitary confinement, I'm doing my time, serving my sentence with a spoon. Interpretation is critical. Where the heart goes, the brain must follow.
Okay. And
thank y'all. Thank you. You guys are great.
And remember in what was it, like 1969 out of Jersey City, when was it Brooklyn? Mandrell said, "Liberate your ass and your mind will follow."
That's right.
And then they edited it in the studio, and it became "Liberate your booty and your mind will follow." It's not how you think. It's not how you think. It's how you feel.
That's right.
That was so cool.
That was Mandrell?
I think that was Mandrell, yes.
Yeah.
And it had that real funky, they hit it on the one. Bum, 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 bum. That's what everybody was following. They were following James Brown's horn section.
Exactly.
When Fred Wesley and Maceo said, "James, let's hit it on the one." James said, "Hit it." And
Hard
so,
on the one.
yeah, they came. That's it. They were hitting it on the one. Okay, very nice. Let's see. Mo is gone. Bunny, are you still here? Bunny's in the Czech Republic. It might be sleepy time for her. So let's move over and let's ask Laura Palmer. Hello, Laura. This is again, your second time back on your first night here. And so would you please present 2 poems for us?
Yes, I have one that I've already performed, but yeah, I still like it very much. So it's called "I'm the Antichrist to You." Yes, for those who are not fans of controversy and just very sensitive person, I mean, you can just like whatever, but It's good. I performed this at Le Chat Noir and I didn't get like banned or anything. So we're fine. This is Le Chat Noir approved.
You're in a good period. You're in
What?
a good period. You're in a good period because Trump Christians have been talking about waiting to detect the Antichrist for 50 years. And now that he's shown up in the White House, they want to reelect him.
Oh my God. Okay, so on a cold December night, I was born. He once came and I was brought into this world. I came to question their relationship and the hypocrisy of their love. Mama was the other woman and I never felt better. Growing up bad to the core, believing every word I was told. And here I am ready to turn the other cheeks and somehow ask for more. I left home as a girl and now have to act like a woman. And if my mother was there, she would see how twisted I've become. I'm grown now, independent. Still, I fear intimacy just as much as I crave it. Feeling, and I can only feel if you let me. So I patiently wait for you to feel. And on your lips, I put one finger, one more finger, patiently waiting for you to pull the trigger out between my legs. And I'm ready for another sexorcism. And from the blood that I've been shed before, I must have aborted myself or maybe released myself into the world. I feel like Mary Magdalene in leather pants. Put your hands on my neck, show me love, let me ease your pain. Burn the witch as she's the only one you can't heal. And if Jesus was crucified for his sins, I will sacrifice for you to feel. Jesus is not my savior. He is a man and man's sin. And if men can find peace and confess their sin through a prayer, how dare they put their hands on my sister? Art is my church. This poetry is my salvation. They tell me what you do is not poetry. And if that makes you feel legit, then come and teach me how to read in public. And I know that if I keep trying to comfort the discomfort, I will get banned from here. Sorry, I'm a bit tired, but it's kind of.
I don't know why any series would ever ban you for that poem, and it certainly wouldn't consider it here. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. And how about a second one, Laura?
um, I thought it would be a great time to think about Leonard Cohen because it was Virgo season and he was like the most excellent and just like inspired like Virgo ever, and just like I've read a bunch of his work, poetry work during the lockdown to just like keep me safe and just like bring peace into my heart. So I've selected his poem called If I Could Help You, if anyone knows this poem. If I could help you, buddy, I would. I really would. I would pray for you. I would make muscles appear on your back. I'll take you to a bridge that people think is so beautiful. If there were the slightest chance that you like it, I'd get you that motorcycle. I'd put your song on a jukebox if you were a singer. I'd help you step across that crack in your life. I would die for you on the cross again. I would do all these things for you because I'm the Lord of your life. But you've gone so far from me that I've decided to embrace you here with my most elusive qualities. You wanted me to be brave and true. So breathe deeply now and begin your great adventure with crushing solitude. It's really nice, right?
That's real. That's real. Wow, you certainly have. You have a lot of. It seems to me, those two poems you read are also courageous acts because they show your vulnerability and your flaws. rather than coming over the top. Like, I might want to imagine I want to sound so cool in this poem.
Yeah.
And only intimate, subtly, my weaknesses, my flaws. Um, that's hypothetical. I usually let it out, and you did. So that's very courageous in terms of that poetry. So thank you for that. Double for it. Courage.
So much. I was
All
thinking
right.
about the previous poet from San Francisco. Like it's like sucking your guts with like a straw or something. It's just like people are just like asking for it, but seems like, yeah, in some crowds people are not ready for that. Like they're asking for you to just like be excellent, but like they're ready, like they expect the good, but they're not ready for like the ugly. And like I'm so glad that you guys were just like in the right mindset and just like really embracing my poetry and giving me space. And thank you. You guys are really great.
Some open mics they prefer what I call vaudeville poetry.
Mm-hmm.
And trigger warnings. Let's not talk about the demons that so many of us have inherited in our heads. Trigger warning.
Yes, because I need my safe space.
Yeah.
I might get, offended by a word. Oh my God.
Where's my bunny, Rabbit? I want to pet my bunny.
I need my safe, what do they call that? My comfort bunny or some shit? I don't know. People are fucking wimps.
Security blanket.
There you go.
I want to be a poet and talk about everything but intimacy. Okay.
Word.
All right, so let's go on to another poet now. How about you, Caroline? Caroline Adler. Can we hear from you, darling?
Yeah, I'm back. Well, let's begin with the last text I found. It's for me it sounds like a poem, but for you it will sound like a recipe. Because it's one, but it's something you can only taste well in Levante, next to Valencia in Spain, maybe southern. It's a sort of traditional pizza that we used to cook in the baker horn when he finished the bread. It's very good, very sencillo. So I'll read it in Spanish. It's quite short. Receta de coca am tomaca de Alcoy. Esta forma de coca es típica de la montaña de Alcoy. Tiene muchas variantes. Esta es la receta original, pero se puede, como con las pizzas, variar. Ingredientes. 500 gramos de harina, medio vasito de aceite de oliva, una cucharada sopera de levadura, pan, sal, agua. Para el sofrito, tomates maduros, pimientos verdes o rojos, cebolla. También se puede añadir, no sé, atún negro, medio huevo, bueno, aceitunas negras, lo que quieres. Paso 1. Se deshace con medio vaso de agua tibia la levadura. Luego se añade el otro medio, la sal y la harina poco a poco y se amasa como si fuera un pan. Cuando se despega del recipiente, se le añade lentamente el aceite hasta que lo absorbe todo. Luego, esta masa se extiende sobre una lata de horno con 2 dedos, estirándola para que cubra la superficie al total. Se tapa con un paño limpio y se deja que fermente y suba como al doble de su volumen. Mientras tanto, se sofríe en una sartén con no mucho aceite para que no quede demasiado aceitosa. Primero las cebollas, luego el pimiento y por último se le añade el tomate. El sofrito debe quedar un pelín crudo, pues hay que pensar que luego tiene que cocer todavía una media hora más o menos en el horno. Paso 4. Luego se añade el sofrito a la masa y al horno. Media hora más o menos. En otros dicen 40. Temas, variantes, trucos secretos. Como decíamos, se puede introducir variantes. Por ejemplo, el sofrito de encima sustituyéndolo o añadiendo morcilla de cebolla, longanizas a trozos, o bien atún en aceite o atún negro, o melva en aceite. La costumbre era aprovechar lo que quedaba en la despensa, ya que era la comida de diario y se trataba de administrar bien los recursos. Vale, eso.
Bye. Eso es mucho gusto. Okay. So, how about a second poem for us, Caroline?
Yeah. It's some extract of a book. It's a nice extract about music, because we spoke about the silence and music just before, and I found this very short extract. It's coming from Journal d'une apprentie chamane de Corinne Sombrin. It's about having your own sound. Il me dit que je pourrais recevoir l'enseignement des plantes d'Amazonie, que j'ai un son à découvrir, mon propre son, un truc vibratoire que je dois chanter. Pouvez éclaircir? Il sourit. Il ne peut pas tout m'expliquer, mais en quelque sorte, chaque individu aurait son propre son. Ce son serait comme une clé vibratoire qui permettrait de rééquilibrer les énergies de chacun, de restituer une certaine harmonie intérieure. Là, il commence vraiment à m'intéresser. Je sens ma troisième oreille de compositeur se dresser pour applaudir. Silence. J'écoute. Francisco pense que, pour une raison qu'il ignore, j'aurais perdu cette harmonie intérieure. Pour essayer de la retrouver, il faudrait que j'aille en Amazonie et que je boive la substance de certaines plantes dont le rôle serait de m'aider à redécouvrir et à chanter ce son. Silence. Il y aurait donc un son primordial, une note unique propre à chacun qu'il suffirait de chanter pour rééquilibrer ses énergies? Oui, est la réponse de Francisco. Sauf qu'il n'y a pas qu'une note. Ce son est en général la somme de plusieurs notes, un peu comme une mélodie unique.
Okay. Now, this Amazonian plant, are you talking about ayahuasca? What?
The first she takes is ayahuasca, but then she takes other plants,
Okay.
and she have to test different
Okay.
ones. And the last one, the third one, I think, will teach her her own music. It's really a
Okay.
very, very beautiful book. And there was
Okay.
there is a
Okay.
film about the next book she wrote after that.
Well, I'm rather dubious about a plant giving you your musical quality. I think if you have a musical quality, getting high might help it, but I don't believe that just coming in blindly like that. That's how modern fables and myths are invented. Americans call it self-help books. Anyway, but I appreciate the poem, and I'm not negating you. I'm just saying that bit about, take this plant and you'll be able to sing. I'm not sure about that. Okay. All right. But good enough, and thank you. So now, is Benedicta still with us? Hello, Benedicta.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. Can we have two poems or two pieces from you, Benedicta?
All right. It will still be a monocle for the two.
Okay, now
So that's
monocle is we have some newcomers now. A monocle is a one-line poem. Mono.
Yeah, exactly. Can I continue?
Certainly.
The first one. Tainted remnants of a cloistered past.
Okay. Now read it again again, please.
Tainted remnants of a cloistered past. That's
All
the
right.
first one.
That's a painting. Second one, please.
And embrace the words of the longing.
And repeat, please.
And embrace the words of the longing. That will be all.
That will be quite a bit in a brief period of time. Thank you, Benedicta.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's see. We got a couple of us left. Could we now hear from Jack?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Jack. You're on.
Okay. As I was, Jane read a poem from the Beat anthology that wanted to come, so I thought I would. This is called Unhappening. It's going to be in the new, the 2020 Beat anthology. It's called Unhappening. I need to feel that disappointment. I can't. It won't. Hope does spring eternal and simply will. Will too will. I must hear no to know not what. Believe I can continue anticipating that might never come. Where room is, will still hope confine, possible to break out of, give lie to, and lies everything truth is not.
That's beat. That's beat.
Yeah.
All right. One thing about beat two was I picked up reading Ferlinghetti and Kerouac when I was younger. Is instead of saying what is, they were talking about the totality of things about what is not. And it puzzled me when I was younger, you know, and that was part of being beat. And you expressed that in your poem. Yeah. Okay, number two, Jack.
Okay. Yeah, this is called Off the Hook.
Off the hook.
I've been let off the hook another day, living to tell what, I wonder, how to beat myself. What am I fighting for? All hell broken loose long enough. Time to turn, face such music, teased back and forth, past, passing by, unheard, myself too busy, it too fast. Why peace of mind so unobtainable?
Again, what it is not. What is that in itself is so concurrent with the beat mentality.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, leaping into the cosmos and when landing on 2 feet, as you've expressed and what Kerouac expresses so well, what is not.
Yeah, between the beats. Between the beats.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
now we want to call on Vicky. Hello, Vicky.
Hello,
You're on. Hello, Vicky.
how you doing? Hanging in there. You're making me want a cigarette, and I quit smoking 6 months ago.
Well, I'll smoke for you. You know, I have a few vices, and this happens to be one.
I'm shaking. I can't even concentrate. I want a cigarette so bad now.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm getting like Dave Chappelle. Not as funny as him, of course, but I mean, Chappelle goes up and smokes a cigarette just basically every stage he's on. And it kind of seduced me. Well, if Dave Chappelle can do it when he's on.
I know that's right, but I was forced to stop. I smoked since I was 12, and
Yeah.
12 years, 12 from 72. How many years is that? I just quit.
That's a
6
few.
months.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend just died the other day. He was a friend of the world, but still my personal friend. I'm trying to honor him on this program, and I got some stuff picked out here. Let me see. You are gonna know who he is when I get this together. I'm trying to is this it here? Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is Toots. Toots and the Maytals.
Toots. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna play a little bit and do the poem on top of it.
Yeah, because he was out there doing dope reggae even before Bob Marley, even before.
Yes.
The harder they fall, right? The harder they come, the harder they fall.
Love Toots. Love Toots.
Bam Bam.
Yeah.
He never troubled no man. Toots never troubled nobody. He was loved all over the world. And I was a groupie back then. Yeah, Mama was a groupie. And I left my two friends standing in front of the club. All they saw was me taking off with Toots. And this is called Remembering Toots. When a child is born, the Bible says to mourn. When a child like man transcends, the Bible says don't grieve when he leaves. He was a righteous man. Me, not so innocent. He left you filled with joy. Because he just did the damn thing. When a child like man leaves, the Bible says don't grieve. He was a righteous man.
Kingston, Jamaica. And this is the man who named the music that we play reggae. He's also got probably one of the longest lasting careers in show business, right up there with Mick Jagger and the rest. I think the only other guy around his age that's still doing it at his level. So please, make him feel love. And welcome to the stage,
Toots and the Maytals. When a man leaves, the Bible says, don't grieve when he leaves. He was a righteous man. Me, not so innocent, had different plans. Let me tell you how he turned my lust into love. He left me with joy and grace. He was not scheming to get below my waist. And I took off with him like a kidnapper on a caper. Was so happy that I had been chosen. When we got to his room, I sat there as if frozen. I was ready, willing, and able, but he was the only one that just wanted company. And he picked up the Bible that was on the table and read it to me. I said I was ready, willing, and able, but he only wanted company as he read the Bible to me that was laying on the hotel table. He loves people. He loved intimacy. But all he wanted was my company. His doctrine was my lesson. While on the road, he called me often. Not many men that I knew were so faithful, true, and just. He was not filled with lust. He just wanted my company. And he was a real blessing. And when lonely amongst the crowd, as musicians often are, he would just call and read me the Bible out loud. He was truly a man of God, and he left his legacy, a trust. Makes a woman feel proud to know pure love instead of lust. Not only would he dance and sing, but the happiness that he brings. Toots, I dedicate this to you. Oh yeah, pressure drop, bam bam, country road. He carried the load. In peace.
Okay. Okay.
West Jamaica,
Yeah.
Mountain Highway.
Yes, he was a righteous man. I never had a man take me to the hotel and read the Bible to me.
Mhm. All right. Okay. Do you have a second poem, Vicky?
Yes, I do have a
Yeah,
second poem.
Vicky, I just have to tell you that when I was a bartender, I invented a drink called a pressure drop.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
How'd that go about? How did it go? What was it made out of?
I don't remember,
Oh.
but it
Well,
was a long time ago. But it was a lot of tropical juices and rum.
did you have a lot of people pressure dropping in there?
Oh yeah, the pressure drop was yeah.
Okay, well, let me read my second piece and tell you that it was a magnificent show. I really enjoyed it so much. Thank you for letting me share Toots. And I'm just going to read this piece I read before. It's called The End. Virus, fire. The virus and fires kill. And still they feel that the next life, which is forever, is not real. As the world turns, hurricanes blow, ash and rain, ice caps melt, unleashes heat. Money is the God they serve, our mothers covered in soot and dust, them who worship greed and lust, killing, fornicating, lies, hatred is ruling the corrupt. We, the poor, die unhealthily, yet we die and move on up. While the wealthy smile healthily, they die, but they are stuck. As the world turns, they continue to ignore the signs. As the world turns, fires burn. The God of all creation still dominates. There's nothing left to do now but wait. We speak God's language as we pray. So we the people pray as we wait. God's earth reclaimed. The heavens will proclaim. The people will shout. God's will shall be done again. In peace.
Okay. Taken in peace, Vicky. Thank you for spreading that sentiment and giving yet another warning in general to how we need to get our stuff, get our shit together. The clock is ticking. Okay. And now I believe now it's time for Claire Andriani. Did you read before, Claire?
And I read.
Did you read in the second round?
Not yet.
Then this would be a good time for you to do so. Please.
Thank you. Great. I have a poem called The Lost Man. This man, he doesn't deserve to be so unhappy, with his head bent towards the floor and his eyes directed towards his thoughts, a past that he cannot understand, a childhood made of gray, shining stares of delight and pain. His coat, like a naufrage, hung on his shoulders that seemed to say, "Why is that?" Full of dismay for the person he longed to be, his eyes riveted on the floor like a child that has lost all his brain, looking nowhere at the empty space of the grey shadow. What he's been told from the very first years of his divine laughter as a child, with his curls full of dreams, a delight, a time of hope, when every land was possible. That's one.
Yes, yes,
Lovely,
yes.
lovely. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
And now a second one, please, Claire.
Second one is called Forbidden to Sing, and it's about a woman that I was observing. She was not having I'm going to read it. It's called Forbidden to Sing.
Okay.
She looked ahead of her as though no one could understand. Paradise being gone when she was just a child. They keep talking as though the sky was red with joy, but she could only see it blue. The old sky of her dreams had never changed colors. It matched her reality with the music of sadness. The secret silence of her heart would not speak, but listen to the meaningless talk of her friends who keep laughing, as if the sky had never been gray, and smiled. She couldn't understand it, this joy. Where did it come from? How could it be sustained in such an epoch, such days of hatred and absurdity? The dead of the diseased, the dead of hatred, seemed to surround her and forbid her to sing.
Okay. All right.
The
Ow.
forbidden sin.
Ow, 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 ow.
It's indeed a forbidden sin. It's well crafted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And because we've been so provocatively, inspirationally romantic, I would like to read you a poem. Now, I did a series of poems under the name of Valentine, as in Saint Valentine. I did a series of them, and this is called Valentine's Gale. And a gale is another name for an Irish person. For want of your side at sparkling still waters, where speckled stones precious skip wet on humid winds. For want of an ancient harp, mothering melodious earth verse. O saga, sing me the sonnet, heartbreaking, sometimes so, like a wind over the west coast, easily. In many fine places, blown to the winds, returned with the rain that falls, it falls. For want of knowing, truly knowing, you will be here, as I often fall, sometimes weep, as a child will do when the world is too big. For want of sensual pleasures, taste, of feel, to delight, to excite, while time passes lazily, an eagle soars above, and the world stands still. Though black clouds of February cast dark their shadows, it is the radiance emanating within you, and never doubt obstructs desire for you. Allow yourself, incant, summon the dreams. It is time. I share you these dreams, aromatic, laced sweet, embraceable visions, the hold in the cups of your hands. We shall dance through the coming storm. Okay, you like that? Ooh.
Excellent,
Okay.
excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's part of a series of romantic poems. I'm waiting on for my co-book writer to decide on his 10, and we'll go with it. Hint, hint. Okay, so now let's see if I can find this last poem, this second poem.
Hey, Mo, I heard a
Here it
rumor
is.
today
What's that?
that that those 10 have been sent.
Oh, did you send them?
Yeah, today.
Well, hell, it's on me to open up the. You know, I'm just not as good on as an online person as I should be, and this is important. So I will open them up, Jack, with I'm sure great pleasure. Here's a poem that I've read before, and I will read it again in honor, in tribute to all of you who've read such good romantic poems. You know, love found and love lost, and that's all part of it. And this is called Oblivion Magic. Unity, bread to the mouth, milk to the lips, tongue to the nipple, tenderloin bathed in the honey of your hive. Tender pleasures our lives, separate and shared. Under my sun, your moon round as butt cakes cupped in my hands, yours upon my cheeks descending, deep wells of your eyes spinning and torching fires of orgasm and prayer. I say fires of orgasm and prayer, burning us to death and rebirth. We give one to another that we may lie and rise again, horizons broad as curved shoulders. We clutch with melting fingers the final moment, letting go everything precious. This life gives us such short time.
Bravo, Mo. Bravo. Well done.
Hey,
Oh,
Mo,
thank you.
Mo, I didn't read yet. Just to,
Dane, did you not read yet?
I did not.
Jesus. Well, see, there we go again. Limited storage space. You could have mentioned that much earlier. My fault. But we can correct that right now because you're reading. Please. More than
Okay, good. I just, the thing was flowing along, so.
and it is. And I get in the stream, and anyway, you are reading. So there we go.
Thank you. This is Sky Pie. You were the orange smoke sky You are responsible for the death. No way, no time to lie. I am certain we are in for an adjustment. They are burnt. There is no way to advance. No one passes through without considering development. The ash, the ash, the ash. There is no outside or other or difference to consider. Pasted smoke on face. Diversity prays for air to breathe and life. The morning women come counting. Will you be innovation, wilderness, lamentation, or will you stand to stall the modification? It may be too late for the salvation. There is no reversal. The cunning women sing, smoke, song, sorrow, pray for reversion. This smoking year comes reversion lit, burning, beginning, the beginning of the revolution. When nature has fled, what will you do in the coming flood? Run down the tears? You want to shift the gashing, dashing, dry, dead river rock, no longer smooth, switch and try and duck. Eat your tent, all that is left, the impending coming transformation. Chew it like good food. Good luck. I would not even try to change you with this when this feudal place cannot. There is no transition, not by our sleeping selves, volcano variation, the sheep gushing, coming to salvation to make it all right, baby. What is in the smoke? You see it, you have to see it. The delicious, treacherous tangerine, seeming sky, crumb crust slice of pie, about face addition. It's not just the dead in the mingle. Can we get to Godhead by the river? It's the poison. There's got to be some break for the bridge. It's the spirits, Kuan Yin waving rainbow flag, begging for mercy, for compassion. What makes up the smoke? It's the millions and millions, the inert and poison. It's the soul of souls, Brother Koala, Roo, Raccoon, and Sister Crow. We cannot go on with the compression. The world is burning. The contraction is making us small, thirsty for one more gulp up goblet of oil. I cannot see the conversion without you coming along. The smoke curls, cancer, halo, holy. The talking deflection makes no sense, and you are happy your giblets are roasting. Pig's distortion of logic on porpoise mind, ass-led, addled, less than meaning sense. Don't listen, don't listen, don't listen. Novelty mutation with no modulation, rapping, raptures forever and always closed door. The permutation cannot survive without diversification. Will never be the same happily ever after. I do not mind however you are inclined, but I'm getting off at the next transit stop while you roll over the cliff to the zoo. Consider what is in the smoke. The smoke is you.
Yeah, the smoke is you. Wow. That's deep. That's a pretty, really fine explanation of the tragedy, the environmental tragedy we're going through right now, beginning where you're at in California. Yeah. The orange madness. It is. It is madness. And they're asking me to recycle plastic bottle caps, and the chiefs of industry of using resources and neglecting environmental controls. But I should feel guilty if I don't recycle plastic bottle caps.
Mm-hmm.
Very clever how they've put the weight of this on those of us who use less.
Yes. It's all our fault.
Very clever. It's called blaming the victims, and it works quite well. It's working now. Trump's out there trying to claim that all kinds of madness natural occur. I don't know. Anyway, thank you. And you have a second one for us.
Yes, sir. What's your favorite way to celebrate your birthday? I was in love with a nun, a beautiful, wonderful nun. I sinned the biggest and best sin ever with her. I cheated with her on my wife. It was the worst wicked way and the Hieronymus Bosch worst way, the garden of earthly delights, all in a pickle sandwich. She opened me up like a killed rabbit and ripped out the guts of my soul. I loved it, laughing, happy, all without taking off my clothes, junkie jonesing, begging more. I had nothing left for home when I returned from the soul love fucking, dry, mean, and nasty, filled with shame, sinning, the tragedy, the wrecking. You know, it is really real when everything is shifted, when a simple question is torture, inquisition. You will do almost anything to fight the urge to sputter, stutter, curse how it is, really seeming now. No one wants to hear. No one wants to hold a bag of smelly bones, weeping, hugging, good, cheerful smiles, fading gray, distant eyes not blinking. You have to tape them closed if you want them to stay shut. Staples will do too. It doesn't work like it does in the movies. Why not ask me to balance Martian math? The answer cannot be any answer except squirrel pin exponential to the power of shrimp zen. She did not want an answer, or really an answer. It was an innocent question, innocent enough. I stumble over it every day. Oh, thanks. Thanks, sweets, for asking. I did not have an answer. For years, it was non-existent. For years, steak and mezcal, and the next looks like it will be just blackness. My favorite way to celebrate was, I just can't answer. How should I answer? She's married to the church. She's so holy, holy, holy. I am just a sinner wanting her badly. If I answer, I'd be asking for her to fall down sinning, the most holy nasty. I am broken now, so I lie to avoid any future fracture further. I cannot stand an honest reply, so I am desperate to figure out the best lying lie so I can put it over easy in my smile. She's married to the church, and holy God is husband, honoring him her duty. She has children depending on. Right now, I might be happy with the fin for the track, a shoe shine, and a bottle of gin. She could send me happy smiley faces like daughters send their daddies. That would be crazy, and I would have a laugh.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's some ballsy revelation there, brother. Just on that matter alone. Let me share something about that. I was very active with the progressive Catholic community, liberation theologists, Thomas Merton Center for Peace and Justice, the Capuchins, the Mary Knowles, the Berrigan brothers, all that. Okay, they understood Jesus. Okay. Now dig this, man. I had a friend named Dennis who was a priest, and he was hanging out with us so gently, and finally said to me that in 2 weeks I'm quitting the priesthood. Okay, here's one of the stories he told me, and he told me this, Priest Dennis. You said that the sisters are married to God. Well, in fact, the church tells them they are the wives of Jesus Christ, and they wear wedding bands, okay? He said that when he was at the altar raising the communion host, and they ring those bells and the incense goes off, he said that is the spiritual highlight of the entire Mass, preparing to take the body and blood of Christ. He said, if you understand the Mass, you are now preparing to intake the body and blood of Christ. So the priest raises his hands with the host, representing the body of Christ, and then he lowers it and he bites it. He said when he was doing that, week after week, a number of nuns would orgasm in the aisles. He said it's been known for a long time.
Really, Mo? Where's
Yes,
your
sir.
evidence?
We have a doubter.
Well,
So has no faith.
It was his story, and I tend to believe him.
Oh, okay.
Now, my story is at 25 years old, a certain nun in the community decided to quit that life and showed up at my house late at night, and we became lovers. And she was thirsty for people, for dancing, for parties, for sex, for laughters. It was the most enjoyable romantic love affair, frankly, in terms of enjoyment, I've ever had. Because she was young, she was strong, and she had an energy to embrace life in various ways and means. So that it went on for about 2 months, and then she found someone from Europe, and they settled down and lived happily ever after. So good for them. That's yeah. Okay. Well, I think now please excuse me for thinking I was the last poet, but then you'll have to excuse me for a lot of my thinking once you get to know me. And so I want to say once again, thank you for coming. There were 15 of us who presented tonight, and it was another bang out poem after poem landing. And so that's what makes us Angora poets, and that we read in English and French and Spanish and invite other languages makes us the World Caffe. So we'll be back next week. We'll be back every Sunday with the Zoom. Angora Poets in the Flesh will start on October 1st with a jazz trio at Bar Lulu. I'll be sending the invites out, and I hope you'll repeat the Angora Zoom invites. So with that, I want to say, everybody, thank everybody.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you so much.
Privileged to be here. Good night, everyone.
And we're better for it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
Mo,
you.
do I have to like something or something? Because I don't seem to get those invites that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you should, I think what you should do is go to Angora Poets, what you should do, go to Angora Poets Facebook and hit like or follow, and then you'll get the announcements.
Okay, I must not be doing that then. Thanks for that.
You should do that because we don't want to lose you but for sake of lack of communications. Jesus.
No, I keep punting around. I get dumber. The more I do this technical thing, the dumber I get. I keep thinking, well, the should be there, and then I have to go look someplace else. And whatever it is, I always have to go like 2 or 3 other places to find the thing I'm looking for. And I'm going, this is getting worse, not better.
Well, rather worth with digital skills as your poetry continues to shine. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Great poets, and feel great to be part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're a good group. Okay. Well, I'm going to say goodbye to all of you who are on screen now, and
Bye-bye.
wish you
Have a good
wellness
night.
through the week. Wellness through the week. Okay, wellness. So, arrivederci.